Okay, today we'll start off with a new subject called as JEE. The full form of JEE is Java Enterprise Edition. So we'll start off from the basics. See, that is the full form. But what is the definition of JEE? Now, JEE is a platform or server for developing server-side or web applications. This is the definition. So when I'm going on to explain you this new subject, there are a lot of terminologies you'll start getting here. A lot of terminologies. Terminologies are jargons. The meaning of terminology or jargon means it's same complicated words which have immense meaning. Means if you don't understand the meaning of anything, I'll refer to dictionary now. So they are called as terminology. Means complicated words are called as terminologies or jargons. Okay. So here also when I've written some things here, two statements I've written, but there are a lot of complicated words or jargons. So one by one, I'll go on to explain you what is the meaning of all this. So I've written the full form of JEE. I've written the definition of JEE, but still clearly we'll start saying what is JEE now. Yeah? So that would be the title today. Fine. Now, in JEE, the first thing what we are noticing here is Java. Okay. See here. Now, Java is a programming language. One by one I'll introduce all the words to you. So Java is a programming language. Now what's the difference between a Java and JEE? JEE is a platform. Java is a programming language. So Java you know, but still you have to clearly understand what is platform. That's what I'm trying to explain. Okay. So by the end of the class you'll be understanding what is JEE platform. Yeah. So a whole class is required for that. Next. The next part what you are seeing here is in JEE is enterprise. Now what do you mean by enterprise? Enterprise is an organization or company. An enterprise means any companies, Airtel company, State Bank of India, ICICI Bank, Railways, these are all called as what? Enterprises. Okay. Or they are also organizations or companies. Fine. Next, example for an enterprise would be like one would be something like a bank, like say State Bank of India or ICICI Bank, anything like this. Then the next example would be, I can say railways application or something like that. These are all companies now. It is for these companies we start developing our applications. Toyota, see, one bank application, okay. And then there is railways company will develop one application for them. For Airtel company will develop an application for them. For Toyota is one company will develop software applications for them. Yes. So why I gave you so many wide variety of examples is you notice they are all software means they are all companies, and we are going to develop what software applications for them. Okay. But look, they belong to different domains. Now I'm introducing one more new terminology, domain. Understood? So here this is banking domain. Yes. Then railways is one, we can say transport domain or something. Then next Airtel is telecom domain. Then Toyota is automobile domain. So like this, there are many domains. Means domain is nothing but it is related to business. Okay. So like this, there are plenty of domains depending on what business they do. Okay, wide varieties. How many businesses are there in the market? So many types of business. So every business will be classified as what? One domain. Understood? Fine. That also clearly I'll understand. You don't have to worry. Now, all these enterprises, they do need software now. Enterprises, whatever you are seeing here, they need what? A software application. Yes or no? Why do they need it? Simple reasons. Okay, see, all these companies, they'll be having on business process. All these companies, they'll be having on business process. And earlier, this business process was done in a manual way. Now, let me explain what is business process. Like bank is there. In the bank, you'll go, you'll deposit the money. Then tomorrow you'll go, you'll withdraw the money. Okay. So like this, you'll go on doing some process, means some process will be there in the company. Okay, so that has to be completely converted into automated now. Earlier we are doing it in ledgers. What used to happen, if you go and deposit the money, they just write it in passbook and all that. Okay, so earlier what was happening, it was all done in manual style, ledger book style and all. But today the thing is, we are going to try to automate the process. The thing is, now you can reduce all your paperwork. Reducing paperwork is one part, but your data is going to be secure. Your data will not be lost at all. If you take the support of computer, no, you'll have total accuracy also, plus what? Your data will not be lost also. And today you can see the number of customers are growing. To maintain so much of huge data, your ledger book and all will not be sufficient only. Because today, earlier one bank was having how many customers? 100, 200 customers. But now you can see one bank will have what? More than thousands of customers. So when they are having so many customers, how will they maintain the records of everybody now? Understood? So this is the process related to bank. Now railways. Railways also has its own process. Now see that like in railways example. Okay, I want to book a ticket from Delhi to Bombay. I want to go from Delhi to Bombay. But I am right now in Bangalore. So how will I book the ticket? So earlier it was not automated. Means we didn't have software applications. If you want to book a ticket from Delhi to Bombay, you should go to Delhi railway station. From Delhi railway station, what you have to do? You have to manually have to visit, book the ticket. Understood? Supposing you are unable to go to Delhi, what you have to do? Call up somebody, somewhat your friend, relative or someone, they should go to the station, they will book the ticket. Okay, then you should go to Delhi, first collect the ticket. After collecting the ticket from them, then you have to sit in the train and move to Bombay. So this was the process. But today what's happening? Sitting in Bangalore, I can book a ticket from what? Delhi to Bombay. Okay, so every business has its own process. So we try to automate that process. Today what we do? What we automate? There is an application on www.railways.com, you will type. There you will start clicking the options. Understood? And you will book the ticket. And one mail will be sent to you and confirmed ticket will be sent to you. You will only take the printout, you will not even go to the railway station. Understood? And you sit in the train now and you start moving. Today more sophisticated, a message will be sent to you. No need of even ticket also. So this is the kind of things what are happening today. So like this, man has got more requirements. He has got more and more demanding requirements. Okay, and he wants everything at the tip of his, at the click of the button, mouse. Understood? Everything he wants at his fingertips. So this is the kind of requirement man is getting every day. Sitting in home only, they want to do what? Everything. So means what we are finally trying to do is, we are trying to automate all this process. Okay, we are trying to automate all this business process. Now for Airtel application, now you want to pay the Airtel money. You want to pay the bill. You want to pay bill to your Airtel mobile phone. You have got an Airtel mobile phone. You want to pay the bill. Now you will not go to the head office now. The head office will be somewhere. You can visit any of their branches and pay the bill now. And now that is their process. So every company will have their own process. Okay. Then it can be Toyota company. Now Toyota company, what will happen? They will get on customer. Enquiry will happen. Then he feels, I want to buy the car. Then he will pay some part payment. Okay, after making the part payment, then what he'll do, that booking date will be given to him. The delivery date, booking date, fine, then delivery date will be given to him. So he'll go that day, pay all his balance and take the car. I'm just giving you on small modules here. Okay, applications will be really big, but I'm just trying to tell you what are business processes and what you have to actually automate. Now these things they are earlier maintaining in what? Ledger. Now this again will be what now? Automated. How? With help of software applications. So all these companies, if they really want to make their business grow or big, what do they need now? Software only they need. So without software, these companies cannot grow now. That is the problem. Understood? So that is why enterprises need what? Software application. Getting this point now? So then, software application, what it helps to do? Helps to automate or facilitate the business process. Whatever business process will be there now, you'll be automating that now. Understanding now? So one by one I am breaking the jargons here. Java is a programming language, enterprise is a company, enterprises need software application. Slowly I am making you understand what is those jargons. Clear? So the next thing, okay, now examples. What are the examples for software application? Like see this. You may develop one for banks, you will develop what? One bank application. For railways, you will develop examples for software applications. Railways application. For Airtel company, you will develop one Airtel application. So for Toyota company, you will develop one Toyota application. Like this, you will go on developing application. Fine. All this is perfect. So right now, I'm just opening up what is IT industry for you. Means when you enter the software company, what exactly you are supposed to do in the software company. Generally after college you'll be thinking, no, after going to software company what you do? This is simple. After joining the companies, 95% of the companies in India are developing applications like this only. We develop applications for whom now? Organizations or companies or enterprises. 95% of the companies in India, your favorite companies, Infosys, IBM, Wipro and all, they are developing these type of applications only. So there are many companies in the world, and imagine how many applications will be coded. Millions and millions of applications companies are there. That's why millions and millions of applications are getting coded every day. Okay, this is how it stands today now. So finally, see, when you are developing an application, generally all these enterprises, see, I'll introduce one more new jargon now. All these enterprises need web applications or server-side applications. So I told we have to develop applications, but now I'm introducing one more word now. What? Web applications. Understood? So let me explain you next thing, what is a web application. Clear? So this is your duty now. When you go to software companies, this is what you're going to do now. Your role is this only now. So clearly understand, I'll just give you an insight into the IT industry also one side. At the same time, I'll be talking about what is JEE. At the same time, I'll be talking about what? How powerful Java is, what is your scope, about your career, if you learn this course and if you do this course, what is your career, everything I'll cover. Understood? So here you'll get a clear idea about what the IT industries are doing today and what you have to do to get your job into the IT industry. So as I said, we have to develop these applications. So now see, there are plenty of architectures we use to develop these kind of applications. Okay, there are some architectures. So now I start explaining one more word called as architecture. I have to explain more words. So only after understanding all this only you can develop your application. Understood? See, till now I am not talking about any language and all that. I am just talking about what? Some requirement is there and that we have to convert it into software. Some business requirement is there or business process is there that I have to convert it into software. Which language you use to code, what technologies you use to code, that and all we'll discuss later. But first we are getting the requirement and then we'll see what are the different architectures you can use to develop your application. Then we'll summarize which language is the best to code these type of applications. Clear this? Fine. So now see, to develop these applications, generally there are some architectures. So one of the architecture, what we generally use are standalone applications. One of the architecture. So put the next heading as different types of applications. Okay, and in that first one would be standalone application. Now let me make you understand what is a standalone application. See this, in a standalone application what happens, you'll be having an application, you'll be having one database, fine. See, every company will need an application, fine, and all these companies need what? One database now. Why they'll need it? They have to store the data. Understood? So it will be there. So in the standalone applications what happens? Okay, you'll have the application and the database installed in the same computer and you'll have an UI and the user will start using that application now. So you'll write your code, you'll develop your application, whatever it is, you'll automate the process. Like example, for a bank, means if you deposit the money, if you use that software, what will happen? It will insert the values or it will, if you withdraw the money, it will delete the values, whatever, means it will update the values, all that it will do. Okay, fine, your problem means you have a business problem now and you have written a software to solve that business problem and you decided to write what? A standalone application. So if you write a standalone application, see, you might be thinking your problem is resolved, but actually your problem will not be resolved. Because now I'll be introducing one more new thing here called as data sharing. Understood? I'll be introducing one more new word here called as data sharing. See, if you develop standalone applications, you cannot share the data with multiple users. You cannot share your data with multiple users. Why you can't share? Because see, this application and database is on computer now. Is it on computer? So what happens when the user starts using the application? Now no other user can log into this computer now, because this application has been installed into one computer now. Single machine it is. Now how will another user use this? How will another user use the application now? Okay, that is the problem. And see now, if another user cannot use the application, you cannot share the data. Now you might have a question, why should I share the data? Okay, let me give an example to you. Why data sharing is required? See, let us take the bank application itself. I'm giving an example so that you understand all these things very clearly. Okay, what are the different problems the companies are facing today or enterprises are facing today, and if the company is facing that kind of a problem, and what are the different challenges we developers face while developing the application. So this is a challenge for the developer now. What is the challenge? Company people need to share their data. So you have to develop an application to satisfy that business process now. So it's a challenge for us now. Okay, and if you decide to code a standard application, see the problem. Okay, I'll talk about the bank application now. Supposingly in State Bank of India, okay, I'll open an account. My office is in Rajajinagar. Suppose, okay, I'll take it in Bangalore. My office is in Bangalore. Okay, I'll open an account in State Bank of India, and they'll be having their application. Fine. Here they'll give me an account number, Ravi Kumar. I'll open my account. My account number would be 111. So here I'll go on using this account now. I'll deposit, withdraw, all I'll do. But the only problem with standard application is, see, if I go, if supposingly I'm in Bangalore, and specifically in Bangalore, I've got my branch in Rajajinagar. Example I'm telling. Okay, now if I want to withdraw my money or deposit my money, to which branch I have to go? Only Rajajinagar branch. Can I go to any other branch and deposit my money? No. Today you are saying you can deposit in any account, in any branch and all that. Okay, but earlier I'm talking, this was the problem. If you develop standalone applications, this is the problem, you cannot share the data. Okay, so tomorrow, see, I'll open my branch in one more city, same bank only, bank is same, but I'll open my branch in Delhi. My office branch I'll open in Delhi now. Okay, then somewhere in some place of Delhi I'll open, and there I have my different account number. What is it? 222. Now, this account is only different, this account is only different. Huh? There are two different accounts. You cannot share the data only. And if you cannot share the data, tomorrow you will not be able to keep track of everything. Understood? Means the State Bank of India only cannot keep track of what now? The single user having many accounts, and they cannot provide better service. Better service means what we user are expecting. No, I want to open my account in one branch and withdraw that money from any branch. Now bank people are not able to give me that service. My requirement is that as a customer I'm asking, I'll deposit the money in your bank, but I want to access that from any branch. But the company people cannot fulfill this to the customer. Understood? So now when this bank feels that they cannot, means they want, they'll make it as what? One requirement now. This problem they'll make it as a requirement and they'll give it to our developers. So we developers have to understand very clearly the problems, and then we have to write an application for this. And you should see to that this problem will be solved. Means if you store, means if you should have only, means the data should be shared across multiple places. And with standalone applications this is ruled out. You cannot share the data. This is the major problem with standalone applications. You got it now? Fine. Now example I'll give for standalone applications. Example would be MS Word, or you can take Excel, or you can take CorelDRAW. So these are some of the applications which are called as standalone applications. They don't have database, forget it. Okay, but I'm just giving an example. Okay, and here what happens is these applications have to be installed in what? Each and every machine. Yes or no? Get the idea now. You have to install, if you want to use Word now, you have to install it in each and every machine. Here also the same thing will happen. If you write a standalone application for the bank, you have to go on installing it in what? Each and every computer now. And if you would have written the application, but it is of no use. Even if you develop an application now, it is of no use. Supposingly use this architecture. Which architecture? Standalone application architecture use, it is of no use. You would have developed, but waste. Understood? So you have to clearly understand the requirement of the company and then decide to develop your applications. Clear? Fine. Still, if you want to develop, assume that there is one small company, they don't want to share the data only. They're having one small place. Okay. Sometimes you'll have requirement. Big companies will never go for what? Standalone applications. The big companies will never go for standalone applications. Okay. And if you want to, generally the small companies, very small companies will be going for standalone applications. Initially small companies will develop this, but later on they will also think about opening what? Branches. Even when they think about opening branches, what will happen? They also need data sharing. So that is why today the concept of standalone application is almost all getting phased out, especially for what? Companies or organizations, because they want to grow. So today company and software, they are getting tightly coupled. No company can survive without what today? Software. Any company you take, they need software. Understood? Why? To grow. That's the only thing. So fine, this is an example. Now what are the different languages available? If at all you want to code, you can still code. Facility is there. Understood? Whether we develop or not, that is the second part of the story. But you have got the still support to develop what? Standalone applications. And the different languages you can use to develop standalone applications are, you can use C language, C++, VB, Java also you can use. So many languages are there. Now, supposingly if you want to develop a standalone application, which is the best language now? You decide. So coding an application like this, okay, using C, C++ becomes very difficult. That's all. That's how you decide which language to use now. Just till now I was telling what only about the architecture, and in a broad way I was giving you what are companies, why they need software and all that. But finally if you want to develop application and all now, so that time you need one language. So you have to choose one language. And the best language here you would be finding is Java only. Reason is what? It is user friendly, it has got powerful libraries, and if you write your application it can run in any operating system of the world. Write once, run anywhere. So there are a lot of advantages. Very powerful language. That's it. So now we'll summarize. So like that is how you have to decide. Okay, like there is a problem, you want to develop an application, and then which language you will decide to learn. Blindly you should not learn what? C, C++ and all that. First you have to understand all this. That's why I'm giving an insight into the IT industry. What are the different things what is happening in the IT company, okay, and what you should do to get your job into the IT company. Understood? Because see, when you prepare your resume, what will you put? C, C++, Java. I told 95% of the companies are using what now? Java only before, and I justify that statement also. So what is the use if you learn C, C++ now? Means you can learn, but you have to get jobs only in C, C++ companies. And they are very minimum, say 5% of the companies. Understood? So this is what you will start facing now. Means after completion of degree also you should know how to actually crack the interview and get your job. Getting job is one side, other side is what? Surviving in the industry. So that's why I'm giving an exposure and then making you understand all this, what it is and why should you do Java JEE course. What is the beauty of Java JEE, what it is, why you should do, what is your scope, all that I'll cover today. Yeah? So fine. So then this is one thing. So this is the language. Now let's see. So this support comes from many vendors we say. See, every language is given to by what? One company. Like VB is given to by what? Microsoft. Okay. C is given by Bell Labs or something. Understood? And so many companies are there. Similarly, Java is given by whom? One company called as Sun. Understood? You have got a solution. So what is the solution they are giving you now for coding a standalone application? For coding standalone application, see, we are from Java point of view. Again, we start seeing from Java point of view because that's a very brilliant language. Okay. So here what happens, the language what they are giving you here is called as Java. Understood? And here to code this, they say use one technology called as Swing and JDBC. These two technologies if you use, you can develop your standalone application in a faster manner. Understood? Means what is the technology? You might have a question now. Technology is nothing but what? Ready-made solution. Means you don't have to code everything from scratch here. If you want, see, this application will need on user interface now. It will need on user interface like input buttons, enter name, enter password, all those fields you need. Like the screen you need now. If this application will be needing screens like this. So Swing will help you to generate what? This kind of screens. And if you want to interact with database and all, you don't have to write the code from the scratch now. You'll use one more technology called as JDBC. So if you use these two, see how fast your application development becomes. So this is the support we get from the language. Means, see, what you have to understand is, one side there is language, other side there is something called as technology. Language means very basics. The basics of language. What are the basics of language? Like data types, control statements, then operators. Okay, so these are the different things what is there in a language. So once you complete learning the language, what do? you start learning technology. These technologies are built using what? Java language. So JDBC is a Java based technology. Swing is a Java based technology. So now, and finally, that is in high level. Technology means what? In high level I explained to you, means ready-made solution. In simple words, it's nothing but on library. Library means what? You got ready-made code. Whatever you want, you start using it now. And automatically you can finish developing your application in a faster manner. That is why Java is very dominating language in the industry today. Okay. Anyway, this is the solution given to you by Sun now. Okay. So technology. And this both, you'll get it. There's something called as the solution. The solution of developing standard application is provided in Java in the platform called as JSC. So I'm trying to explain you some differences between JSC, means J2SC, J2EE. You have heard these words now. I'm trying to explain you exactly what is that. See, earlier it was called as J2SC, J2EE, but nowadays we call it as JSC, JEE. I'll be explaining what is that in full. Okay, this is one platform. So this platform we'll be using for developing what? Standalone applications. So JSC is a platform for developing what? Standalone applications. Platform means you have got everything ready made now. You just use it and put your code there, it will start executing now. It is ready made, something which is ready made. You write your code and put it into that, automatically your code will start executing. I'll be explaining your platform, that's one more terminology now. I'll be explaining all this very clearly. Okay, so the full form of JSC is what you got now? Java Standard Edition. JEE is Java Enterprise Edition. JSC is Java Standard Edition. Fine. Now this is available in JDK kit, we say. JDK. JDK means Java Development Kit. When you install Java now, you'll get this. What? Swing, JDBC and all that, full support will start getting. So if you use that, you can start developing your application. So simple solution from Java. If at all you want to develop what? Standalone applications, solution is very simple from Java. Understood? So this kind of support do you get in C, C++ language and all that? No. That is why you have to understand Java is very dominating language in programming. Especially what? Applications. So fine, this is how it stands now. And next, and you got the support from Microsoft also. So like that, many vendors will give the support. Understood? And here they give one language called as VB. You can do it. So it's also one solution you've got. It's not a problem. But we prefer to use what? Most of the times Java language because it's very powerful. Clear what is a standalone application now? Okay. So anyway, standalone applications you understood, but this will not fit our bill, no? This will not fulfill our requirement. Actually, our requirement is what? We want to share the data. We are still facing this problem. You can develop your application, but you cannot share your data. So to start sharing your data, we generally, what we use is, there's one more architecture was invented. Okay, let me explain you the next architecture which you can use to develop what? Your applications. Architectures I'm talking. So again we'll discuss architecture. Again we'll see the solution. Again we'll see the problems. Then finally we'll summarize what is the best architecture to develop all those 4 applications. All are different domains. Okay, but what is the best architecture we can choose to develop our application? Because the main problem what we are facing is data sharing here. Clear? So fine. So now instead of standalone applications, there is one more architecture what you can use, which is called as client server applications. One more architecture. So put the heading, let it remain. I don't have space, I'm clearing it. Different types of application only. Okay, 1 second, I'll just take the space. VB or Java you can use Swing plus JDBC. Okay. So the next architecture what you can use is client server applications. This is also one more type of application what you can use. Yeah. So let me explain what is client server application and how it goes on to solve your data sharing problem. In this kind of application, this is the second type of application what you can develop now. Here you'll be having one application now, and this application, and you'll be having one database. Everything is perfect here. Okay, but this will be kept in one machine called as server. Your application will be kept in one machine called as server now. Okay, and that application will be accessed by multiple clients. You'll be having many clients now. So this is one more, see these are different machines now. This is one client machine, this is one client machine, like this you'll have many machines. One more machine you want to have, clear? So in this machines what you'll do, you'll install your client software. You can have still more machines. One more machine you want to have, like this you can go on having more machines. Okay, I don't have space, that's why I'm not drawing it, yeah? So fine, like this you can have more machines. Now see, actual application is kept here and this will have your database. So what is your, once that application is developed, it will be kept in a centralized place now. One centralized place will be keeping it. Okay, and then when you install it here, see, the idea here is 50% of the application will be kept here, or part of the application we say. I'm not telling exactly 50%. Some part of the application will be kept on server side, some part will be kept on client side, say 50%. Some part there, some part here. So the idea of this client application is what you know, this client application actually interacts with what? The server application, and the server application will fetch the data and give you the data. So now your data sharing problem is solved. Brilliant it is. Understood? So this was our main intention. So you'll write your application, but this time you'll be using what type of application? Instead of standalone, we'll go with what? Client server application. So your data sharing problem is solved. It's not a problem now. So finally what happens? Okay, your data sharing problem is solved, but it will give rise to more problems. Can you guess what are the different problems here? So here see, you have to install your client software in every machine. Suppose you are having 100 clients. In all the 100 clients, what do you have to do? You have to install it. Now maintenance becomes a big issue. Tomorrow you enhance your client software. You have to update it in what? All the 100 machines. And all the 100 machines should be connected. Physical cable connectivity is required. So here there is one limitation. You can do it only in what? LAN, local area network. But you cannot, I want, see, in Bangalore, maximum destination is what? Means the maximum geographical location I can use is one city. But it's, so tomorrow I want this client software to be installed in Delhi. What will I do now? Can you pull the cable? So there's some limitation. It is good only for LAN support, local area network. LAN means local area network. So this is going to solve you the data sharing problem, but it has its own limitations. What are the limitations or drawback? What are the different drawbacks? Means you have to install the client software in all the machines. Upgradation means maintenance problem, means if you want to upgrade, maintenance problem, like that. Many problems are there, but just understand this is not a feasible solution now. It will solve your data sharing problem. That problem is getting solved, but it is giving rise to some other problems. But if at all you still want to develop, you can develop this. And one more thing is, this solution actually we call it as fat client. Understand the terminologies here. Fat client, thin server we say. Why we say fat client? Because the application is actually executed on what? Client machine. Okay, it will execute means it will connect to the application here. It will fetch the data and it will be processed on the client machine. So that is why we call it as fat client, because the full application is executing on client side. So these are architectures. Generally you understand, I am not teaching you programming today. What are the different types of problems you face while developing an application? Okay, what are the different architectures you can use? Okay, what are the biggest challenges we face? That I am discussing. And finally we get this solution best in what way? What is the final way we get this solution? So once we decide which is the best solution, then we will start coding. Understood? See, generally you think if I give you a requirement, you can develop of an application. That is wrong. You should not decide like that. First you have to understand all the problems and capture all the business requirements. After understanding the business requirements properly only, then only you should start developing your application. Otherwise whatever you develop will be waste now. Supposing you develop standalone, waste. Supposing you develop client server, that also is waste. You are telling you have developed the software, but it is not fulfilling the purpose only here. So until unless you clearly understand the requirement, do not start development only. So that is why I am just giving you an idea what exactly is our problem and how we will solve this. And this is what you have to think, okay, properly and understand this. Why you have to understand this? Because after I complete these things, you will understand. Because when you want to get into IT company now, the IT companies are looking for some specific skill sets. Because after joining the company now, they expect you to work on that kind of an application, some kind of application. And they see to that, means they expect the resources to be trained in that particular segment. So that's why I'm actually explaining all this in a very broad manner, so that you prepare yourself for tomorrow's industry. Understood? So this is a solution. And fine, there are many languages again you can use. Here also C is there, C++ is there, Java is there. Again, if you see, Java is going to be dominating here. Reason is what? Library. You don't have to code everything from the scratch here. There is one package called as java.net package, and you can do something called as the classes in this net package help you to do what? Socket programming. Means with the help of socket programming and all that, you can solve this problem. You can develop it. Understood? But not recommended. So that's what I'm trying to say to you now. You can develop it, but better don't develop these kind of applications. Which one? Standalone and client server application. I'll show you some good architectures later. Okay, so package is this. So then next you can see from Sun now. Yeah, this is from Sun now. Yeah, from Sun point of view, start seeing. 1 second. Yeah, from Sun point of view, if you see, they have given you a language called as, the language given by Sun is what? Java. And it is found in the package called as java.net, and here you can do it with what? With the help of, I told you, socket programming. Fine. And again, this solution is available to you in JDK kit, and we also say the platform, it is in the platform. Finally, again, this platform is also called as JEE platform, Java Standard Edition. Okay, so I'll be explaining what is platform. Hold on. Okay, but JEE is a platform for developing what now? Two types of application: standalone applications and client server applications. It's on platform. Clear? So these are the solutions what you have got. Clear? Likewise, you have got many other vendors. Which one? There might be other languages. They'll be giving other languages. So you have to only decide and then learn that language. Okay. So fine. So this is also one more solution what I can use, socket programming. 1 second. Fine. This is one more solution what you saw. So better than this solution, you can see one more solution what I will be showing now. These are called as, the third one, web applications. These are known as web applications. This is ultimate now. Let's see how it will solve all your problems. I think you have, most of you know what are web applications. Okay, you have used it also. What are they? Like Yahoo, Rediff, Gmail and all that. Yes or no? Okay, I didn't give you example for this now. Yes, example for this is what you know. Gtalk, Yahoo Messenger, some examples I am giving. Clear? These are some examples for what? A fat client, thin server, or client server applications. Client server applications, these are the examples. Now we'll come to what is web application. Now in web application what happens? You'll be having your application, you'll be having your database, everything is perfect here, same thing, same way it will be. But the only thing is, nothing will be installed in the client machines. It will be very simple like this. And in the client machines, you'll be having browser. Unlike this one, here you are installing what? One client server. Server means in client server, you'll be installing one client software. But here you'll not be installing what? Any extra software. You'll be just going with one browser. If you have one browser finished, you can interact with any application with the help of what? Internet facility. Okay. Now this data in the database can be accessed in any part of the world now. Yes or no? You are supposing you have worked on Yahoo Rediff. Is there any restriction that you have to use that single machine? Nothing. You can go to any machine, open up the browser and start using your application now. So that is the idea. You can share your data wherever you want, whenever you want, and how many ever users want, they can start sharing the data now. This will be the idea. So this is the current trend in the industry today. So companies in all the IT companies today are developing these kind of applications. Understood? So you have to be prepared. Now if you are going for interview now, so you should be ready for these kind of interview questions. Okay? And this is what we are going to learn now. What is web application? This is what we are going to learn, and we are going to develop also these type of applications only. So you will not be learning these two. Why? It is not going to be used only. So what is the use of learning now? So better we stick on to what? Web applications. Understood? This is the current trend now. So here what happens? Yes, you got the application. This is the server. And these are what? Clients. Now, if you think what is server, client and all, that is also one more terminology. Now don't think they are computer words. They are plain simple English words. Okay, simple English words means what? See, server means a person who serves. Client means who makes a request. Simple. Okay, like example, you'll go to a hotel. Okay, you'll ask for some idli or vada, whatever it is. So you are the client. The server serves you. Yes or no? Clients make request, server serves you. Here also this machine will make the request. That machine will give the response. That's why this is called as client machine. That is called as server machine. Nothing bigger. So client server architecture we say. Clear this? These are called as, means it's similar to client server, but these are called as web application. Almost all same concept, but it is called as web application. Understood? So this is what is the thing here. So now, yes, example for this would be Rediff, Gmail. Many are there. Many sites you can see. See now, concentrate. This is our actual concern. Finally, we'll start developing these type of applications only. Now let's see what are all the possible ways you can develop. We'll go a little deeper here. Example are these two are still more. Yahoo, Rediff, Gmail. So many are there. Plenty. Today any enterprises know they need this kind of applications only. And the solution here we call it as thin client and fat server. Yes or no? Where is the logic getting executed now? Server side. Nothing will be executed on your client machine. Understood? So it will be executed completely on the server side. So this is what is the concept here. So fine, there are many languages also you can use again for developing this. Many are there. You heard now? PHP, Python, C#, Java. Finally, you can see one language. You can see everywhere it is coming up. One single language is giving support for what? All types of application. Understood? So that is the process here. So many languages are there. So now the support from Sun we'll see. Here we use the language called as, if at all you want to develop web application and decide to use what now? Java. The language you are going to use is from Sun company I'm talking. From Sun point of view, you'll use the language called as Java, and you'll use technology. Again, technology means what? Ready-made solution. You don't have to write everything from the scratch. Many things will be ready-made. Only few things if you write, you'll get the output now. So that is what we are going to study. So for this coding a web application, we'll be using on technology called as Servlet or JSP or JSF. Now see, technologies are coming up. So that's what actually we are actually trying to learn Servlet, and I'm trying to give introduction to what? Servlet, JSP, JSF, where they fall. So that is my idea. So directly if I teach you Servlet, you wouldn't have understood. So that's why I'm bringing all these problems and explaining you why Servlet is so very important for us while developing an application. Clear? So now these are the different technologies you can use. These are the three technologies like this. Many people are giving the support. Many vendors are there. PHP, Joomla, Python, many are giving. Okay, but we do not take those kind of support. Okay, extensively depend on what? Java itself. Why also I'll explain again. So then again the solution is available to you in one platform. Now see, more words are coming. JEE platform. Means all this solution you got it in one single platform called as JEE. So the platform name is called as Java Enterprise Edition. So after I introduce all these things to you, next I'll be starting what? JEE Servlet only. That time very clearly you'll start understanding what is JEE. Fine. So this is available here now, and we get this support JEE. One second, that's the platform actually. That's the platform, and that solution is available to you in. You will use JDK kit. Normal it is JDK kit plus one server you will start using, and those servers are called as a third party support you'll use. Third party support. Now the third party support is nothing but JEE web servers. I'll be explaining all this, don't worry. This is our journey now. We are going to develop web application now. So every day we're going to learn this only now. It will become very clear. Today I'm only giving introduction. So you do not have to worry anything about this. Clear? So this is only introduction. So this third party server support is nothing but what? One JEE server. And example for JEE server means you'll use JDK and this both you'll use. Okay. And the third party support is in what? Actually nothing but server on. Third party server it is. Somebody will be giving you that support. Okay. And the example for those servers are, see, Tomcat, JBoss, like that many servers are there. JBoss it is. Many servers are there. WebSphere, so many are there. And one server is given to you by one company. Okay, more I'll be talking. This is what we are going to start. Like Apache is from which company? Tomcat. JBoss is from Red Hat. WebSphere, one more server. It is coming from IBM. Like that many support people are giving you support. So we'll use their servers. Understood? We'll write our application now. And then we'll put it into their server. So means again we are saying now we have got ready-made solutions here. If you want to develop a web application also, many things are already ready and waiting for us. You have to just use all that support and develop your web application. That's it. Okay. So this is where our journey starts. So this is from Sun point of view I told. Similarly, I got this support from what? Many other vendors. So it's a cutthroat competitive industry. Okay. Now the same web application, see this, I'll just write it here. It can be developed with the help of, see, the support from Microsoft now. So their language is called as C#. Their technology, they call it as ASP. Ditto to ditto, everything same. Their platform is called as .NET. And their server is known with the name IIS, Internet Information Server. Everything ditto to ditto, same. There is no difference. But that is the support from some other vendor called as Microsoft. Okay. Similarly, there are many other small-time vendors. Similarly, there are many other small-time vendors. Like example, PHP, Python, Joomla, Ruby on Rails. Many are there. So many are there. So end of the day, all this our support has been given to you what? For developing web-based applications only. So you can use anybody's support. That's up to you. Okay. So see, again I'm clearly explaining this to you. Clearly understand. Because sometimes you get confused. After completion of your degree, what you'll be thinking? I should do which course now? Should I do PHP? Should I do .NET? Should I do Java? It's very clear here. What is clear? Java is supreme. You cannot compare Sun with what? Other vendors only here. Why? Because see, Java has got brilliant solutions here. I mean, the library of Java is very brilliant, and there are so many problems you'll face. I'm just told you what is a web application. I've still not told you what are the different problems you face while developing a web application. Many problems will come. One by one I'll start listing now. Next. Okay. And all those problems will be addressed by one single powerful company called as Sun. Okay, that is why Java goes on to dominate the programming industry. You can see one single language is getting used where? In the development of all these applications. So supposingly you have coded standard application. Tomorrow you want to develop web-based applications. All you will do is what? One technology you learn, new technology. Which one is that? Servlet. So only one language is getting used, but only Java is giving you the support with help of what? Libraries. Only one language. Okay. But unlike Microsoft, you see, for developing standard application, they'll say learn VB. But for developing web-based applications, they'll learn, say what? Learn C#. Now learning language is very difficult. No, why am I telling you this is people think .NET is easy. Why .NET is easy? Concept is same now. Whether you are developing a web-based application using C# or .NET or Java or PHP, concept remains same. So the problems what you face remain same. Everything will be same. Only thing is the solution you should see now. Who is giving you the best solution for all your programming problems? Otherwise you will have to sit and write the code from the scratch, which you don't like. So due to these problems, Java overcomes all this. A single language. See, Java is having a very user-friendly syntax. Very simple language it is. In fact, Java language can be learned within 30-40 days. What are the different things you have to learn in Java language? Operators, keywords, control statements and all that if you learn, finished, data types and all. Over language. After completing the language, you start learning what? Library. Or which one? Servlet technology. The classes in one package. JavaX.example, JavaX.servlet.http package. That's it. If you learn that much, you can develop a web application only one language. But unlike if you want to learn .NET now, what do you have to learn? One new language, one new syntax, one new library, all their support you have to learn. Understood? People will tell PHP is easy. PHP is also more difficult. Again, why? You have to learn a new language. Because see, Java is easy for us because it follows C syntax. That is why it is easy. Now PHP is saying whose syntax we don't know. You have to learn their syntax, you have to learn their code, then you have to learn their library. It is more difficult. It is only a misconception or misguidance in the market. People will misguide you like that. But I am very clearly opening and showing you of the support and all here. So you decide properly, because tomorrow you are the people who are entering the IT industry. So if you do which course, if you know what are the possibilities of you getting the job, you will understand. Understood? So don't get misguided. Everything is very clear here. Yeah? So fine. Then these are the different support what we get. Now, again, here Sun is supreme. It is giving you, it is top class. It will give you all the solutions for all your programming problems. So means I mean to say, if Sun is on the top, if Sun is the sky, the only competitor to Sun is, we say, Microsoft. No other competitor is there for Sun. Okay. And today Sun has been taken over by Oracle. That's a different story. But all this solution was initially given to you by whom? Sun company only. Today Oracle has taken over Sun. That's different. But initially all the support was first given to you by Sun company only. The other vendor is Microsoft. But these people, see, even these people, what they do now, after Sun gives all their support now, they'll release their library and everything they'll release. Now Microsoft will copy it. They'll never invent. They'll imitate and give the solution. So to what an extent they can give the solution, you imagine now. So actually real scientists are in which company? Sun company. So many dedicated people are there who are working for Sun. Okay, voluntarily and directly in the company. Okay, from outside also they work, inside also they work. And that is why we get so many strong solutions here. These Microsoft will only copy it. Apart from that, they'll keep on waiting. Once all the solution is over, then they'll try to imitate. So that's it. So how can you say that .NET is easy now? Sun is somewhere now supreme. So that's how it stands. Okay. So if this is sky, this is becoming what? Earth. That's the range. You cannot compare only. Now all these other small time vendors are what? Underground. We cannot compare them only. With what? Sun. So even small projects are getting developed now. They will be developed with what? PHP, Joomla, small projects. But later on, when the company grows, their requirement will go. Their business process will increase. And coding such kind of business process, what happens? Becomes very difficult with this kind of, which one? Support, PHP, Joomla, Python and all that. Now you might be thinking, what are the different problems we face? I'll give you some examples. Security problems. There's something called as transaction problem. Transaction problem means what? You want to transfer money from one account to another account. But that account is in different bank. From State Bank of India, I want to transfer to what now? ICICI Bank, your friend account. Now these are the complications we get while developing an application. Lot of problems we face. And all these challenges are addressed by Java for you. How? They say don't write the code. Everything is there in what? Library. Take. So that is why Java is popular. See, Java language is very simple and sweet. Very simple it is. Hardly 30-40 days language will get over. Now Java is vast because only of its library. Now why is Java's library so vast? Because it's giving you a solution to all the problems. So learning library is better, or you coding from the scratch is better in other languages. Learning library is 10 times better. 1 or 2 days you may take extra, but you are not going to code now. But in other languages what will happen? Means by learning Java you may take 2 days extra. Why are you taking 2 days extra? To learn the library. But in other languages your duration might reduce because you are only learning the language. But after that you have to code for 20 days now. For the same problem you will be coding what? 20 days. And you are doing it. And how many times you will do? Again and again, again and again. Every time you have that problem you will be doing it redundantly. But in Java we have got powerful libraries. And that too it is given by whom? The greatest scientists of the world. We just have to use it. Tried and trusted code you have got. Understood? So this is why Java goes on to dominate. I'm just explaining you what is, see, we end of the day here we have to develop an application. I've given you 4 domains. Okay. And all these 4 domain applications require what? These kind of applications now. Which one? Web-based application. What is the reason? Only one single reason, data sharing. Now see, if your bank account is in Bangalore, now I can withdraw my in any part of the country now. See this, I can withdraw it in Bangalore. My account is in Bangalore. I can withdraw it in what? Delhi, Mysore, Mumbai, anywhere I can withdraw. Same way your railways application. If your data is kept centrally here, now online you can book your tickets now. Why? Because you are able to share the data. So for developing such kind of applications, we use web applications only. This is the best solution what you are having. Even your Toyota company I told, or Maruti showroom, what happens? You can develop for them. So there what's going to happen? They'll have their own process. Customer makes the requirement, means inquiry, then he'll pay some part payment, then he'll pay the full delivery, means he'll pay the full, make the full payment, then he'll take the delivery of his car. That also you have to automate. So any of, see, and when you have got a car showroom, Maruti showroom or Toyota showroom, they'll have many branches. How will they control all this process? So if they want to really grow, they have to go with what? Software only. So this is what is data sharing, and if you want to share data, you have to develop this kind of web applications. And if you want to develop web applications, these are the solutions available to you, but among them Sun dominates by giving Java language and its library. You should understand the power of it. And once you understand this, see, this is the power of this language. And this is when you will not get confused now. Tomorrow if somebody says, I'm learning PHP, will not bother. Tomorrow if somebody says, I'm learning .NET, will not bother. Why? You know your career now. You know your route, you know your path, and you know how good career you're going to have tomorrow. Understood? So that is what it is going to be done now. So this is the power of language. Now what is the scope? Means what? This is the scope of Java language. Okay, and this is the scope of Servlet, JSP and JSF. So now what is the scope if you learn these technologies? And means what is the scope of the application developer now, or Java application developer? See, all big projects are coded using what? These technologies only. So now tomorrow if you want to change from one company to another company also, very easily you can get recruited. Reason is what? You have got powerful skill sets. See, the reason, till now I'll tell you, if you apply now, you'll not get job. Why you are not getting job properly? Because in your resume you are mentioning only Java. That is not the right thing. You have to mention, suppose, extra things also, like technologies you have to mention. Technologies means which technology you know. Servlet, JSP, JSF. If you mention these keywords now in your resume, now HR will get interested. Oh, this person knows something extra and he can deliver something to the company. What he can develop? Means you are showing a specialization. You are a web application developer. Once you show your specialization, this is what attracts him. Unlike your resumes are containing what right now? C, C++, Java. When you prepare your resume, generally it's your resume. So that is why you will not get any call also and you will not get any job also. Only if you get the call, you can clear it now. So understand the facts, why you don't get call, why and how you have to get call and all that. Okay, so supposingly, fine, you'll get the call and you can clear it. So company, there, see, I told you so many companies are there in the world. And all these companies require what? Software. In that one job you are trying, that's it, man. One job. Okay, so for getting that job, you be a specialist in this, you'll get. Being specialist means what? Nothing, very simple. You learn the Java language, let's just learn 3-4 technologies. Which one? Servlet, JSP, JSF and all in a proper manner, automatically you'll get job. Why do you struggle so much? And these technologies will not take time for you to learn. Hardly 10 days sufficient. Why? They are libraries. You should know only how to use it to build your application. I'm telling you so many stories. You'll see within 3-4 days you'll start developing on web application only now. So fast you can develop in Java. Understood? It's looking big right now. It's looking on mountain. Like on mountain. Oh, I have to develop web application and all. Because you have only used web applications. Yahoo, Rediff, Gmail and all. And you're very curious how they write that application and all that. Very simple. Only because of these technologies. Understood? So this is the support what we start getting from Sun company. And yeah, and your scope is also good. Supposingly, see, I told you small projects will be developed always on what? PHP, Joomla and all that. Now when the company, see, once initially small companies will use all these things to develop their project. Later on when the company becomes bigger and bigger, they'll get more business requirements. Now that has to be coded now in this one means it will not be possible. That is why the migration happens. PHP to Java, understood? Or .NET to Java, migration happens. So when projects are only getting migrated, obviously one or the other day you developer also have to migrate to Java, no? But why do you want to migrate? First learning PHP, then coming to Java. You're wasting time, no? Directly learn what? Java itself. You're saving time and also you're having good scope also. Tomorrow in industry you'll get good chances of job also. So that is your scope. I'm talking about your scope now. How Java is supporting to develop all applications, that is one story. Now I'm talking about your scope on IT industry. Now see here, one more thing. Supposing you are coding PHP and you are having 3+ years of experience. You apply, very few calls you'll get. Next, Now for doing, for getting a job in PHP and all, it is very easy. You don't have to do any course. Simply you go and attend interview, automatically if you talk good, you'll get the job only. Okay, but you'll be happy you got the job. But the thing is, you have not built your career. After 2-3 years, if you want to change, no, you will not get a good company only. Why? Because big companies like IBM, Infosys, Wipro and all, they do not work on this thing, which on PHP and all that. They actually work more on Java itself, because big companies develop big applications for big organizations, and that is where Java is obviously required. So think, getting job is not important. Tomorrow, your career is also important. After 3 years or 4 years or 5 years, if you want to move somewhere, it will help you. Understood? So that powerful Java languages, and these are the different things now. So are you clear now? So these are all underground. Microsoft is what? Earth, and Sun is supreme. There is no competition only for Sun. It's unbelievable. That's why all projects, they start off small in some other things, finally they end up in Java itself. Migration will keep happening. Clear? So fine. So this all I have to write. So from Microsoft, I'll clear this. I'll just write it here on the. So from Microsoft, use what? .NET. I'll just write it in small. The same thing I'm writing here. And the other vendors, PHP, Python, and all that. Other vendors are there. I'll clear this. So this is the story. Now where will I write it? It's clear enough for you? Or I'll write it here somewhere on the top. See, from Microsoft, the solution is what? .NET. Now other vendors for developing web application, PHP, Python, many are there. You can use anything to develop what? Your web applications. Okay? Fine. So man will invent this application or he'll develop it. He's got a brilliant solution, he'll develop it. This will give rise, means once he develops this now, again he'll become more innovative. More ideas will come to him. And he'll say, I want to share my data with some other organization. Understood? Means, let me talk about the drawback of this. Everything was good here. There's only one drawback in this architecture. Can you guess what is the architecture? I mean, what is the problem in this type of applications? What is the problem in this type of applications? The data of one company can be shared by only one company people. Hence, Maruti company people can access only Maruti application. Understood? Then Toyota people company can access. Means one company is restricted to an organization. All the employees of Maruti company can access their application. That's all. Others cannot access. There's limitation. Okay. Similarly, Toyota company people can access their application. That's it. Others cannot access it. Now Airtel company, they can access their users. They can access their own application. Others cannot. Okay. Sometimes it so happens that you want to share the data with other organization. You'll be having data, but you want to share it. I'll give an example. I'll give requirement. Understand? Okay, then we'll see how you get the solution. So for following those kind of problems, we use something called as distributed applications. One more application. This is the current trend in the industry today. Which one? Web application and distributed application. These are the current trends. So whenever you enter any company, they're either developing web-based applications or distributed applications. So let us see. What is a distributed application? Say example. Supposing you have developed a bank application. Supposing you have developed a bank application. This is your bank application and you will be having your database. You will make the request. The application means the browser will make the request. It means supposingly you want to see your balance. Okay, sitting at home and you want to see the balance. You don't want to go to the bank now. You can do it. How? You log in now, www.sbi.com or icicibank.com, and then you'll click your username, password. Everything online you can see now. This is one part of the support. Okay. Next, what we feel is, and now here data is getting shared by you only. Means all the customers of that bank can see their accounts and all that. But tomorrow you'll have one more requirement. I want to buy railway ticket online. Think about that now. Or I want to buy movie tickets online. Or I want to book something online. So now what you need? You need money now. But where's your account now? In bank. So now the data of this has to be shared with what? Some other organization. Some other organization means what? Example, railways is an organization. A KSRTC ticket, airlines. So like this, the data of one company has to be shared with what? Another organization. So let's see, I'll develop one railways application now. Means assume that we are developing bank application. We are developing, okay. And here we have a requirement. We want to expose our, means we want to share the data with what? Other companies like this. We are developing bank application, but we want to share the data with other companies like this. Like it might be railways or Flipkart, anything like that. You want to share it now. So what you will do is, now it is not logically correct to directly give the access of your database to this application. That's not logically correct. Because it's nothing but what? All your data will be hacked now. So you can't expose the full database only. Instead you give a restricted approach. What approach you will do, you know? This application will interact with what? This application, and it will get back the response like that. Application will interact with the application. Now this application will interact with the database. So finally, bank application only will interact with database. You are not giving direct access. So railways application will contact this. Means what will happen is, see here, now right now the scenario will be, you will be giving your account number, amount and all what? To which application? Railways. So you have to log into railways application and you are giving all the details. So these values, what will be happening now? They will be sent to your bank application. Bank application will in turn interact with the database, process everything and give back the response. And finally you will get a confirmation by a mail or not. You have successfully got the ticket or not, whatever it is. So this is the whole idea. Okay. So here communication is happening between one application with another application. Okay. So here if you see, almost all, if you see from the bank application point of view, this part remains as it is. It is what? Web application. You can log in from State Bank of India directly also. You will type now, if you want to see your balance, where you will go? www.statebankofindia.com. You will go there only. So that is web application. Parallelly, what is happening? One more thing is happening now. You are exposing your business logic. Business logic. What is the business logic? Like transferring money from this database to this database. That's nothing but withdrawing money and putting into their account. Yes or no? You are transferring money because you are buying a ticket now. Okay. So this application is interacting with that application now. So these things are called as distributed applications. Distributed application is a concept where you share the data among different organizations. So for doing this, we use one more technology. So means you'll use one more extra technology here called as EJB or web service. So here, how many technologies you will for developing now? JSP Servlet you'll use. Plus you have to use what? EJB or one more technology is there, web service. EJB or web service. So when you use EJB, when you use web service, I start telling now. Okay. So see this. Now we are writing bank application. Now fine. Supposingly railways application is also Java. Fine. So we are writing Java application. These are people are also writing what? Java application. Okay. And it is called as homogeneous communication now. Homogeneous means both are having the same language, same platform. So that time you can use what? If both are Java and Java, we use RMI or EJB or web service. Anything you can use. There is no restriction. So these two will be there. Which one? Servlet and JSP is used for developing web application. But for writing distributed application, you use one more technology now. That's all. One simple technology you use, automatically it will become what? Distributed application. Application remains as it is. One small change, what? You'll start using one more technology. So if it is Java and Java, what will you do? You'll use RMI, EJB or web service in your project. Any of these three if you use, automatically these people will do an RMI, remote method invocation call, it's called. So once you make that call, what happens? It will execute the logic. Means you are sending the values. Finally what will happen now? This account number 101, your amount 1000 rupees, these values will be sent here, that's it. They'll do one method invocation, it will get executed. But that method invocation can happen in two ways. Either in, means you can use either web service technology or you can use EJB technology. Okay, fine. Then supposingly if it is non-Java application, who knows? See, we are writing bank application, but we cannot force railways application people to code in Java only, no. They can develop their application or project in any language they want. They are having their own liberty. Okay, so now we can't predict what kind of language they'll be using. Supposingly they use non-Java means what? Non-Java means what? Example, if it is .NET, what will you do now? That's a different platform. Different platform means what? This is .NET, that is Java now. So means heterogeneous communication. This is called as heterogeneous communication. So we face challenges like this. So many challenges we face while developing what? Application. And Java goes on to give you solutions to all this problem. Understood? So the more problems you can understand, the better you can develop applications now. Okay. Means you have to see the problems and the solution will start searching now. But luckily in Java you got libraries or technologies for everything. Understood? One more technology you'll use now. So that technology here would be, if it is non-Java, compulsory you have to use what? Can you guess? Web service. So web service will give you solution for what? Java and non-Java. Means if you want to expose your business logic to, you want to expose your business logic now or a method to what? Either a Java or non-Java, means you can use web service. Means web service will support both Java and non-Java. But EJB will support what? Only Java. So if you are 100% sure that this is a Java application, use EJB. But if you are having doubt, tomorrow you don't know which application will make the request, better you use what? Web service. Okay, so that is why blindly today what? Most of the companies will be developing what? All projects on web service only. Understood? See, now this is what should be mentioned in your resume. This is skill set. Now why you are not getting a job? No, very simple reason. In your resume you mention C, C++, Java. But companies are expecting you to, when you enter, no, they expect you to develop what? These kind of applications. Because this is their order. They get orders from other companies. And that's what they are expecting you. They expect you to deliver this. So day one only, if they ask you to code this, can you do it? No. Why? Because you have never even thought like these kind of applications are existing and that when it is required, where it is required. That is your first problem. Second problem is what? To develop this, what all technology you should use, you don't know. Which language to choose, you don't know. So how can they train everything from the scratch to you? So that is why the companies expect what? Ready-made products. Instead, if you learn all this and in your resume if you mention all these technologies, now what? Example, JDBC, Servlet, JSP web service. Something like this you mention. Now company people will understand. Oh, you are a specialist in what? Developing distributed application. You are a good resource. That's how they scan resumes. But if you put only these many things, what? Servlet, JSP, JSF, they'll think you are a specialist in web application. If you put only C, C++, Java, they'll think what? You are a specialist in nothing. That's why they'll not recruit you. Simple reasons. So your resume is what is highlighting here. How good you prepare your resume, that faster job you can get, that better job you can get. Now look at your profile, it's high profile job now. Okay, you are a top level developer now. You are developing these type of applications. But here also nothing to worry. This technology you learn it in what? Again, 10 days. One library it is. See how easy. 10 days you spend on a technology will get over. And immediately be getting on high profile job. Instead of that, what you will do? You will say things are difficult and you start doing what? Some BPO jobs and all that. So understand the situation and scenario here and properly, and then you enter the IT industry. It is going to be safe for you. Okay. So yes, this is the solution now. Let's come from Sun point of view now. So yes, the language is what? Again, Java. Technology is what? EJB or. EJB means Enterprise Java Bean. Full form and all I will be telling you. Enterprise Java Bean or web service. One more technology it is. Then this platform means all this solution is there in a single platform called as JEE, and it is available in, clearly understand, JDK plus again third party support. But this time you will be using third party support. Means that third party support would be JEE application server. JEE application server. Now clearly understand here, I am using two words. For developing web applications, what do you use? Web server. For developing distributed applications, what do you use? Application server. That application server is only called as platform. It will have a lot of features in it, built in. Okay. So example for application server is, where I will write? So I will write it here. Server, JBoss, WebSphere, these are all what? JBoss, WebSphere and all are servers. Second. One second. So JBoss is from Red Hat company, WebSphere is from IBM company. Many companies are there. Okay, but unlike Tomcat, Tomcat is what? Web server. If you use Tomcat, you can develop what? Only web applications. So that is how you have to choose platform. Supposing you decide to develop an enterprise application, you have to use what? Application server. Supposing you want to develop a web application, simply choose what? Tomcat server. That's it. Web server. Understood? So this is what first decision you have to take. Then you have to start coding. But before in hand only, what you will do? You will try to develop of your code only. What you will write? So unless you understand this clear picture here, you cannot develop any application. Once you understand the different type of applications, then you can think about what? Developing your application. After you decide developing supposedly this one or this one or this one, then you will decide the language. After deciding the language, then you will decide the technology. This is the correct path. So there are a lot of openings in IT industry. You don't have to worry. Only you have to improve your skill set. In the counseling class first, I have told you what? There's a huge gap between what you have learned in college and what is actually required in the IT industry. This is the same story I'm telling now. So today a company is expecting you to learn all these things and enter, because they cannot provide you training on all this. Okay, because they don't have time now. They want ready-made products. So if you are updated with this, easily you can get the job also. Are you clear? So it is available in, are you clear now where it is available? JDK plus third party server. But servers are which one? All this. I give you some examples. Clear with all this? So yes, and the same support is coming from Microsoft in one technology they will give, DCOM. From Microsoft. DCOM. DCOM means distributed component. In EJB means in Sun we say EJB. Now what will Microsoft do? It will imitate that. Same thing they will copy and they will give a name, DCOM, distributed component. Understood? So all vendors are doing the same. They will try to copy and give one solution. But first people who invent this all many times will be what? Java only. Okay, this is the support what you are getting from Microsoft. Clear? So this is the whole idea. Now see, if you learn all this, you will have very good career in the IT industry. Getting job is one side. Plus you will have good careers also. Tomorrow, if you are having 3 years of experience and you try to jump to some other company, no. Many companies will be running behind you. Please join my company, please join my company. Today if you apply, no, all companies will run away from you. But if you put these keywords and apply, they will run behind you. Difference is only that much. Understood? Whether you run behind the company or company will run behind you. Difference will come up only here now. So, your skill sets are very crucial for getting job, and security also. You people think IT industry is not safe. When we lose the job, who knows, you will tell. Fact is, so many companies are there, which are I told. Toyota company, State Bank of India, Railways, all these companies need what? Software applications now. Without software, can they survive? And then they need software. If software has to be developed, who will develop? You only have to develop now. You are developers, you have to develop. Then why is your job unsafe? It is unsafe for whom you know? Manual testers, maintenance people. So for these kind of people, job is unsafe. Because any recession and all happens now, they will be removed. But you will not be removed. Why, you might ask? Because when the project is running, maintenance will come, enhancements will come, new features will be added. So if you are the core person, means you are in the development team now, they need you. Without you, they cannot do anything. So your job is 100% safe also, plus what? You will get high packages also, salary also you will get. Forget your job. Job is safe 100 times. At the same time, you will be getting what? When others are losing job, you will get high salaries also. So this is how you have to understand the current situation in the IT industry. Simply somebody lose the job, you will think only one thing, only one side you will see. Oh, he lost the job, he lost the job. Why he has lost the job, you will never see. You have to see his profile first. Why is he losing the job? A good developer, why will he lose? If the company lose good developer, it is loss for whom? Not you, for them. Tomorrow if they get one more project, who will code for them now? Definitely they will pay more money and retain you. Remember this. Clear? So there are many things I covered, many concepts I covered now. I went on to explain 4 types of application, that is secondary. But at the same time, I went on to explain you what is the scope of Java also, as well as scope of we developers also. And why Java is so powerful in the programming industry also. Are you clear with all this now? Yes. So now, once we summarize this, now we'll come in to see what is the meaning of this JEE platform. Clear? So before that, see, all what I have written is documented. I'll read the document to you, okay, and you can, whatever I have written, same thing has been documented. This document will be provided to you. You can see from there also. Clear this? See, finally I have to explain what is JEE and what is Servlet. That is where we have to reach. But if you want to understand what is JEE, what is Servlet, why we use it and all that, if you know this history, it will be interesting now to learn. Because you will be knowing your destination. Most of the times you will join your course, but you will never know your destination only. So I just opened the route to you and I showed you the destination where you are going to reach and how good is your career going to be also. Fine. Next, types of application. The same thing. We can develop various types of application based on the requirement. Based on requirement you will develop. Simply blindly will not decide. Standalone, web-based and all that. Clear? So client web-based, client server, web-based, standalone, client server, web-based, enterprise or distributed applications. Standalone application, the first one you see now. So this application is running in a single machine and can be accessed by what now? Single user, like example is Word, Access and all that. These are examples. This is the diagram now. In one computer only you'll be having that application and database also. So for big companies will never develop this kind of application, so do not bother also. Rarest of the rare scenario where one small company is there you might be developing, or some small requirement is there in between internally, that time you can develop what? Standard application. Means here it will not solve your data sharing problem. That's it. If at all that is your requirement, blindly go for what? One simple technology like Swing. That's it. Okay, now see the drawbacks. What are the drawbacks? Many are there, few I am listing. Just understand, don't go more deeper into all this now. Because we should go more deeper in what? Web application, distributed application. There we have to go. Application should be installed in each and every machine now. Other users from other machines are unable to share this application. If application migration is required, then you need to reinstall the software in all the machine, which is maintenance problem. Data sharing is not possible with these kind of applications. That's it. This is the major reason why you are not developing this. Otherwise, it is okay. Okay, now technology means you will develop, you will automate your business process, but finally this will be a problem. Now technology is required. See, many are there, C, C++, VB and all that. But in Java you got what? One library called as Swing technology. And here no special server is required. Done? Next, client server applications. The other one now. What is client server application? Example is Gtalk, Yahoo, Messenger. These are the different examples for it. And this is known as what? Fat client, thin server. Because the application will be executing on client machine. To solve the above problems of data sharing in standalone applications, client server architecture was designed. This is why it was designed, to solve that problem. In client server application, the application will be divided into two parts. Some part of the application will be installed in server machine and some part will be installed in multiple client machines like this. Yeah, we'll be installing it. Then server is a centralized place to store the data and some part of the application. Data in the server can be accessed by multiple clients who are connected to the server. Client server architecture solves what? Data sharing problem. It will solve your problem. But there are some drawbacks. It gives you maintenance issue because we are installing client software in all the machines. When client software is enhanced, in all the client machines should be updated with new software. Done? And technology is required. You can use socket programming with C, C++ or Java, and in Java you got this solution in java.net package and you don't need any special server to run this. Clear? Just I am summarizing everything now. There are more drawbacks, do not worry. Okay, let's come to web-based application, which is our current focus. This is what is our current focus. To solve the problem of client-server architecture, web-based application was designed. In this web application will be placed in the centralized place called as web server. Web application placed in web server can be accessed by any web client in the world with internet facility. The thin client, and the solution is known as what? Thin client and fat server, because nothing will be executed on client side. Example is Gmail, Yahoo, etc. Many are there, you can list it. This is a diagram. Only one drawback, what is it? This kind of application is limited to single organization. That's only one drawback. But if that is only your requirement, better go for what? Web application. Yeah? Technology is required to develop. You can use any web technology. From Sun, what are the different technologies? Servlet, JSP, JSF also you can use. That is one more new technology. Okay. So like that you got technologies from Sun, PHP, ASP, from some other vendors. Anything you can use. Now to run the web applications, you need, I was telling now, third-party support server. So here it starts off. Okay, see, for running your Java applications, we need what you know? JEE servers, we say. We use, means you write Java application and put it into JEE server. I'll be explaining what is JEE server. Next topic will start now. Okay, some of the examples for JEE server you see now. What are they? Apache, JBoss, means Tomcat from Apache company, JBoss from Red Hat, WebLogic from Oracle, WebSphere from IBM. Clear? You can use any of these servers. And some of these servers are application servers. You can use application server for running what? Web application and distributed. Okay, you can use. But generally if you want to run web application, extensively used server is Tomcat only. Extensively used server is Tomcat. Because if you want to run web application, why do you want those application server? Understood? But they will support both. Which one? EJB plus Servlet and JSP. That's next I'll be telling you now. Now for ASP.NET, what is the server you'll be using? IIS, Internet Information Server. Like that. You'll write C# code and put it into the server. Clear? Fine. Next. What is distributed application? That's the next thing now. We'll see this. Very simple. I had explained you everything. You will have a bank application. Okay. And you'll be interacting with that. Then the railways, this you can use. You want to see, you can see your balance and all that you can do. Okay. But tomorrow you want to buy online tickets and all, what you will do? You log into railways. Railways application will interact with this particular application, and this is how the data sharing will go on happening. Now there are two possibilities. One is this is Java and this is Java. It is homogeneous application. Homogeneous means you can use RMI, EJB or web service. Web service will support both. Which one? Homogeneous and heterogeneous. EJB will support only homogeneous. So that's what. Non-Java means you'll use what? Web service only. So like this, you will, before you start developing your project, you should decide which technologies you will use, which language you will use. Only then you will be developing it successfully. Understood? So this is the story. Fine. Now in web-based applications, that's a drawback. What is the drawback? Functionality will be exposed to what? Those organization clients only, where in web-based applications. It is not suitable to communicate with what? Another organization application. This gap can be filled by distributed or enterprise application. Done? Distributed computing is the current trend in the market, which allows the business partners to share the information among each other. Finally, technology is required to develop enterprise application or what? Many vendors are there, they give many technologies. So I am just talking from what? More on Sun point of view. More. Okay. See this. In Java we have got what? RMI, EJB or web service. RMI means remote method invocation. C# you have got DCOM. Similarly from C++ language you have got one technology called as Corba. Corba is one technology given to you by C++ language. You can use. There are many vendors giving you the solution. Now to run Java application, we use what now? Application server. If you are using EJB, you will use application server. Means that's a JEE platform. And in that platform, you are having support for what? EJB. Understood? And that is what next I will start explaining, what is all that support. Example for application server are what? JBoss, WebLogic, WebSphere, Glassfish. They come from different companies. You can use anybody's support. Means write your application, put it into the server. Automatically you'll get it will start running now. Your application will start running. Now when communication is happening between two applications, there are two possible chances. One is homogeneous, means both applications are using the same language and same technology. Example, for two Java based application, what will you use? Any of these three. For two .NET, what they'll use? DCOM, they will use that. Now for two C++, they'll use Corba. That is homogeneous. Now coming to heterogeneous, I am talking only from Java point of view. One Java and one .NET means I am writing Java and I want to expose it to .NET. That time I am using what? Web service technology. Like that, other vendors will give their own support. So both in heterogeneous, what happens? Both applications are using different language and different technology. That's it. So an overview, broad overview saw, and now till now we are hearing too many times JEE, JEE. Now we'll start saying what is JEE. Now it will start. Okay. So now see, Sun has provided 3 platforms or super specifications for development of different types of application. They are giving you a platform. Now I'll start off. Okay. Java is the language used for developing all these applications. Any language you want, you'll use on standard language. Language will be there, one platform will be there. So that is what you have to understand. What is language and what is platform? Language you know, and I am trying to explain you what is platform. Clear? Yes. The first platform, JSC platform, means Java Standard Edition. Earlier it was known as J2SC. I'll be telling you what is the 2, but earlier it was known as J2SC. Means full form is Java 2 Standard Edition. That is the version number. Okay. Now it has been changed to Java Standard Edition. It is a platform for building what? Wide variety of applications like standalone. If you want to develop standalone application, you can use this platform, or even what? Client server applications, or even applets. There's one more thing called as applet. You can use this to develop it. And it is supplied with the JDK kit. If you install Java, you'll get it. That's the platform. Okay. Now you can develop one more type of application for what? Micro devices also. Like what? Mobile phone, PDA. They don't have more memory space. Hard disk space is less. If you want to develop application for those devices also, Java will support. For any application it is supporting. See now. Now still you don't have support from Microsoft for what? Micro devices. So one standard language is giving you solution for how many problems you see. Only one library they'll release now. And one platform they'll release. Finished. You can develop any application you want. That is the luxury you have in Java. So only you have to learn language. Next we try to do specialization. Okay, I'll tell you that specialization. JEE is known as J2EE, or what is J2EE now? It's a platform for building server-side applications, or it is usually supplied by what? Various server vendors. That's the next thing now. You have to understand. Server vendors like Apache, and they'll give it in Tomcat. That platform they'll be giving it in servers. Okay, and Red Hat will give it in JBoss. IBM will give it in WebSphere. So that is the platform. I'll be explaining you that now in a short while. So, see, after learning Java, it is your duty to be a specialist in one department here, either J2SC or J2EE or J2ME. So here, J2EE has got more scope, more and more scope, because you are going to develop applications for what? Big organizations, and that is where you got better and huge scope. Now, I'll explain what is the meaning of J2SC and what is JSC. Similarly, J2EE and JEE, J2ME and JME. What is the difference? This is only the version number. They have removed it now. Understood? Why did they remove this? Means, see, one side language was getting incremented. Means new versions of language are coming. Java 1.4, 1.5, 1.6, 1.7. This side the platform also is having what? One number. So earlier, supposing I am writing a Java J2EE application, you are using what? Either 1.4 version. So this is platform version, and this is language version. This is the Java language version. Are you following now? This is Java language version, that is platform version. Now, so if you want to develop a web application or distributed application, you'll use this platform and version. Then later on 1.5 came. Then you have to use what? J2EE 1.5, J2EE 1.6. So it became very confusing. They are also on version, they are also on version. To avoid that confusion, what did Java people do? They removed that 2 only. And here also they removed that 1. Today what we write now? See, this is the latest what we do. Earlier like this. Now we write like this. JEE 5. JEE 6, this is how you write. JEE means Java Enterprise Edition and platform, and the Java language version I am using is 6. So this is how you will see any document when you read JEE 6, JEE 7. Understood? So 6 talks about the language version, JEE talks about the platform. But today platform they have removed that version number. So done. So next we'll start understanding what is JEE. See now, how did first the question of man get the idea of web application? That is first question on. How did man get this idea? Or where did the inspiration of web application come from? The inspiration of web application should come from somewhere, no? Or what idea made him to think about web application? The first idea what man got was from website. Means the inspiration for developing web application comes from website. Now I'll get into JEE, and in JEE I am moving into web applications, and now I'll start discussing what are the different problems you face while developing web application, and then I'll discuss how these problems are addressed by these various technologies. Which one? Servlet, JSP, one by one. Clear? So this is how it will be going now. So see, first I'll explain you what is website. Are you aware of website? Website means very simple. See here. What is website going to do? Website means plain static pages. Plain static pages. Static pages means what? Plain static pages. Okay, see here, static page means, supposingly, I want to see 7 wonders of the world. So I'll type www. Example I'm telling on URL www.7wondersoftheworld.com. So you'll get that Great Wall of China, Taj Mahal and all that. But it will not be highly interactive. Yes or no? You'll get, once you click that, you'll get on screen here. You'll get on screen here and you'll get the links. Some links you'll get. Click, next button, means the next option, next screen, next screen. So only you are clicking. But here you will not be providing any input values. Like enter name, password, that you will not be doing. It will not be interactive. So this is website. Okay, so the inspiration of web application comes from website. Understood? So they thought, why not make it dynamic? Means why not we provide some values, let it execute internally, and then we will get back the response. This became their idea now. So that is when what happened. Okay, so let us see still more things in this only website first. See here what happens now. There are a lot of problems we face while developing website. There are a lot of problems we face. But today, hardly we have to do any big things here. Here if you want to develop a website now, what you will be doing? You will only write your code using HTML. Means some HTML files you will write. And you will put it into something called as server. This all is ready made for you today. Everything is ready made. You are thinking you want to write on website now, fine. Very fast you can. Within 8-10 days you can develop on website. Good website means UI. Simple website you can do it in one day also. Understood? You want real good website with colors and all that display and all that. Designing will take time. But developing a website will not take time. So fast you can do. What reasons? Okay, because see, there are actually so many problems for developing a website. I'm not saying no. But all these problems are already addressed in built-in platforms today. There are some platforms. Okay, I'll be explaining you what is that platform. Means it is on ready-made solution what you got. You should just write your code and put it there. And all that support you'll start getting. Some infrastructure support is required. Some infrastructure support. Okay, and that infrastructure support will already be there in the server now, and you will start providing it. So the servers are ready-made. Built-in software means there are some softwares. You just have to take it, write your code, put it there now. So once you put it there, now what will the client people do now? This is one browser. Another machine. This is one machine. This is one machine now. This is client machine. And this is server machine. So client machine will make the request. Server machine will give back the response. Everything will work perfectly fine here. No problem only. Okay. See, client makes the request to this HTML file, and it will be displayed back. So this would be your request, and this would be the response. That's it. You'll make some request and the server will give you back the response now. Very simple. So here, see, Now what I am telling I am telling you what are the various, now I will tell you what are the various problems you face while facing a website, and what are the ready-made solutions already available to you in that platform. Slowly I start telling now. See, one of the problem we face is communication problem. Means two computers are talking with each other, no? This is one computer, client machine is one computer, server machine is another computer. So when two entities means what? Two bodies. I am using one general technical term here. Okay, entities means what? Two bodies. When two bodies want to communicate with each other, they need some common protocol, no? Protocol means what? Set of rules. Say I want to communicate with you. Means we are two entities. So I have to use some common protocol now. English is the protocol I am using to speak with you. Similarly, when two computers want to communicate here, they should use some protocol. One of the extensively used communication protocol is HTTP. So this in detail I will be telling you. Don't worry. Understood? So the communication protocol used would be HTTP. So this server knows HTTP. Already it is built in. It has the ability to accept the request, understand what request means, what resource the client is asking, and will deliver back the same resource. Means, I mean to say resource means you can have many files here, 1.html, 2.html, many you will have. But when he clicks the link, no, correct, or when he types something, the correct resource should be provided to the user. So it will understand all that it will do. So you are hardly writing what? You are not even preparing that platform. That HTTP is built in for you. Yes or no? You are concentrating on only writing what? Yeah, HTML file. That is what I am trying to say, platform. Just write it, put it there inside the server. Automatically you will get this support. Then more things. Not only communication, you will have networking problems also. You will have problems in networking. For solving those networking problems, they will use two protocols, TCP IP. Now what does TCP stand for? Transmission Control Protocol. And what does IP stand for? Internet Protocol. These two work together. These are also two more protocols. Now why they are used? You might have a question. See this. This client is somewhere in any part of the world. We don't know. Now my server can be in any computer, any part of the world. I'll only make the request www.7wondersoftheworld.com. Supposedly I'm in India, I'll make the request. This website might be in US. So it has, now that file is in actually where? In a computer in US machine. From there the file has to come to your machine now and display here. Yes or no? So how will such a huge file move via via network? Huge files cannot move via network. That's when TCP will come into picture. TCP means Transmission Control Protocol I told. But what does TCP do, you know? It will do some three things. It will break the file into small packets and transmits them via network. Get this point clearly. What does TCP do? First it will break that file into small packets and transmit them via network. Second, what it will do? Second thing, many things it will do. I am just listing it. It ensures all the packets, means one file is there, no? You break it into small packets. Ensures all the packets are reaching the destination error free. No error should occur while transmitting. Error free now. Now after reaching the destination, what it should do? Rearrange all the packets as one single unit. Yes or no? Only then that client can display it. If it is given in bits and pieces, what will that client do? So it will rearrange all the packets into single file now. After reaching the destination, rearrange all the packets into single unit. Finish now? So it will be happening now. Okay, now one more. This is TCP. Now where is the destination? Who knows? Correct now. Now IP will come into picture because you are, see, there are many computers who are making the request now. So the packet should go to which client? So that is why, see, all the computers on network have some IP address. Some address they have. That IP address is called as Internet Protocol Address, full form. And what will it help you to do? IP, what will help you to do? It helps you to IP ensures all data or packets reach correct destination. So everything is happening to you by default. You are not even worried only. Still more problems are there, but are you worried? So look at the luxury what developer is getting now to develop what? One simple website. So man asks for luxury, and that is why you can develop your website in what? If you just want to display hello world on website today, no, you can do it in one day. Your website is ready, but more designs you want, it will take time. Designing will take time, but developing a website will not take any amount of time now, because everything is ready-made. Understood? So here what happens, see when the client makes a request, clearly understand the point now, this huge file is there, no? It will be from here, see one virtual connection will happen between both of them. Which in what? This machine and that machine. That virtual connection is called as socket connection. Virtual, you cannot see it. Virtual connection will happen. So what is socket now? Socket is a virtual connection established between two entities. Socket is a virtual connection established between two entities. So it will get connected. So from here, from this socket to this socket, that huge file, what it will do now? That huge file, TCP will be breaking it into small packets and push all the packets into the network now. Now IP will ensure it is reaching the correct destination. Once it reaches, TCP will ensure all are reaching error free. And after that, it will be giving it to client, and client in the client side will rearrange also. Now finally what does the client get? One HTML file. Now any browser can execute a HTML file now. So it will be displaying your file now. Simple, over. Everything ready-made for you. That's simple today, website development. So this is what gave idea for what? Web application. They wanted to make it only simple, make it dynamic. Okay, so when you want to develop a web application, more problems you'll face. And we expect ready-made solutions like this. And that solution will be given to you by some server vendors now. And that is what is called as JEE platform. Slowly I start introducing you now JEE. Clear? We saw the problems in website. Let's see the problems in what? Web applications now. Clear? So shall I clear this now? What is TCP, IP and all that? So now we will come to develop what? Web applications. So website gone, finished. Now company requires website web or web application. Web application, because they need to process data. This is where the idea is coming from now. So now let's say web application. So here this is the idea. You will have some, you will enter name, password. Then you will submit. So here what happens? Yes, I am drawing this platform now. As soon as you draw this, means when you make the request, you expect on response now by telling what? Welcome, not welcome. This is a simple file what I am telling, but later on you start giving more values. And different responses you will see. So this is the idea now. You want to develop what? Web application. 1 second. So when you log in, what will happen now? It should give back this response. This is request, and this would be response. So yes, so when you want to develop a web application, yes, will HTML solve your problem now? Can I write this application using HTML language? You cannot write. Reason is what? HTML is not a programming language. It is a presentation language, and you can write presentation logic with that. But you can't write any logics. Why you can't write logics? Because it does not have data types, operators, control statements, keywords. Everything is missing there. Only you are having what? Tags, attributes, values. Only that is good for only display purpose. So that is why I cannot write this logic. So what we need is one good programming language we need here. If you need a good programming language, now what is required? You can use any programming language. Again, yes or no? You can use, again for developing web application, what are the different languages available? Which one? PHP, C sharp, Java, anything you can use. Okay, so if you are using on language, obviously, supposing I use on Java language, you need on runtime environment now here. JVM you need, otherwise how will you execute your Java code? So like that, special requirement will start getting here now. You start getting special, means you're getting problems now. We need what? One runtime environment. And that runtime environment is what? This server is there. We are having that server, but we want to execute our Java program. Means we want runtime environment. Okay, like that, more and more problems will start coming now, and you'll be getting all this support built in now. Let's see how this story started first. How this story started off, how this story of platform started, I'm going to tell you that now. So let's see now what happens. See now the various problems, supposingly, see this is what you do. You're writing on program, Java program now. This is what you do now. If this is a Java file now, supposingly you decided to write it in Java, supposingly, what you'll be doing now, this will be on Java file now. Hello.java file or something like that you'll write. And here what you'll do, you'll write your business logic using which language? Java language, means verifying username, password, inserting into database, all that logic. Okay, you'll do it with Java language. Clear? And presentation logic will be written using what? HTML. This is how you'll mix both. And that is nothing but your servlet. You'll write Java plus HTML now. That is your servlet program. So logics you'll write HTML static display, but servlet would be what? Dynamic display. This is how the story starts. So fine, you're going to write this. It's not a big thing now. But look at the various problems you face while developing a web application. Web application now. List the problems. One problem would be, yes sir, communication. Yes or no? Same problem will come here. You want to communicate what? This is on machine, that is on machine now. This will be in client machine, that will be in server machine. Communication problem you'll face. Networking problem you'll face. TCP IP, how they will connect. They have to identify an address and all that. Then data has to move. Okay, see the user is giving name and password. That data has to move what? You are typing www.gmail.com. Gmail application is running in US. Example. So you are typing your name and password here in India. From India it has to go to what? US. Data has to move. Networking. Understood? So that is one thing. Then next, data has to move. That is networking. Then next, input output. Means from there, value should come into your program. From here, value should be displayed to the user. Input output is required. See the various problems. List. Okay, you want to write a web application. Let that application be any domain. Now think. I explained you 4 domains. Telecom domain, telecom domain, then transport domain, then bank domain. So many domains. You develop any application in any domain. But these are common problems you start facing now. Look at all the problems. Input output, then what? Communication, networking, input output, then next what? Scalability. What do you mean by scalability? See here. If you have developed a good website, assume that you have a web application. Okay, if you develop a good application, the number of users, how many number of users are going to come to your web application, you don't know. If it is really good, today it will be 100. Tomorrow 200 users will increase. Then 5,000, then 10,000. So as the day progresses, more users will start accessing your application. Yes or no? Like Facebook, you know how it is growing now. Every day the users are increasing. Example I gave. So can you predict the number of users accessing your application? No, no. We can never predict, and we can't put restriction also. Can I put restriction? Only 1,000 users should access my application. Now 1,001 user, the next user, 1,001. He has to keep waiting. What will happen now? He will never wait. He will go to some other application. So we can't put restriction because no user is going to wait today. So your application should be scalable. See now, we have more and more problems. Okay. So the idea is simple. Now to make it scalable, okay, what we can do is, see what does Java do? Now coming to Java point of view, what does Java do is, it will create one thread pool. This means threads. It will create some threads, multi-threading. The multi-threading of Java, concept of Java is very powerful. The multi-threading platform of Java is very, very powerful. So what they'll do, they'll create some threads and maintain it in a pool. Okay, and here what they'll do now, see hello.java is on class. Finally, your servlet is nothing but what? One Java file. So when you make a request, it will execute, fine. But how does the Java program execute? An object has to be created now. If you want to execute a Java program, finally an object has to be created, then only it will execute your code. Till the object is created, it can never execute. So fine, object will be created, it will execute, all that is perfect. But now imagine if 10,000 users are coming in now. For every client, can it go on creating one object here? What will happen? For every client, one object is getting created and then destroyed. One more request, one more client, one more object, and again when the response is given, it should be destroyed. Means imagine, it's a heavy process what you are thinking now. For every request, every user comes in, you are creating an object, using that object, and finally when the response is given, you are destroying it. So you can think of providing scalability like this, but finally when too many clients come in, what will happen? It will crash. It cannot be scalable. So that's the reason they'll take an approach. Here what they'll do, they'll create some threads and maintain it in a pool now. Okay, every time a request, and now there will be only one object. Hello.java, only one object. Only one object will be there. So once the request comes, what will happen? One thread will come outside the pool. It will execute your code. One thread will come, it will execute your code like this. And after the completion of execution, the thread will go back to the pool. So neither the thread is destroyed, nor your hello.java object is destroyed. It will be retained. Both objects will be there. Why? Because one more request comes. Again the same thread will come or some other thread. It will be in the pool. Any thread can come. And it will execute the same logic. This is a better idea, no? So this is how you can make your application what? Scalable. More users come in, you can start supporting more and more users now. So this is what we talk about scalability now. Are you clear with this? So now 5 users, again more threads. One thread will come, all the 5 threads now. Okay, supposedly 5 users come, now 5 threads will come from the pool. All of them will execute what? Simultaneously. But everybody is happy using the application. Everybody is happy using the application. So this is what is scalability. Understand concepts here. Finally I will be showing you all this with what? Coding and examples. I will show you output, I will show you. Okay. And this is one problem now. And in Java, you know, you believe or not, all this is built in. Okay, all this is built in now. Okay, you don't have to worry. Thread pool is ready. Okay, only one object is be created. Servlet technology is taking care of all this. So whatever problems you are facing now, all these problems will be addressed with what? Servlet technology. So that is why you use this technology now. Clear? So this is one problem. Next, resource management. I told you what is resource management already. What is resource management? Only one object will be created and handled by many users. Yes or no? One object will be created and that resource will be managed by what? Many users. How? With the help of thread pooling. Scalability, resource management, they are slightly related. Okay, with the help of multi-threading, multi-threading support is required for what? All this we require multi-threading. Then resource management. And what is multi-threading? You need pool there. Then what is resource management? Only one object should be created. Finally both put together, multi-threading and resource management makes it what? Scalable. Like that, all are interlinked. Okay, then next, we need lifecycle management. What is lifecycle management now? When should hello.java object be created? When should it be destroyed? Unnecessarily it should not be created, unnecessarily it should not be destroyed now. There should be some time when it should be created, when it should be destroyed. All that lifecycle management is taken care now, built in. Otherwise, if lifecycle management is not there, what will happen? Every time the request comes, an object will be created, destroyed. That should not happen for us. So we need some good lifecycle management and somebody should take care of this. When should this object be created? When should be this destroyed? Everything will be taken care. You don't have to worry only. So these are the various problems you start facing while developing a web application. I'm actually first making you understand the problems, then we'll start seeing what? Solutions. Okay, more problems will come like memory management. Memory management means what? Garbage collection and all that. Then next, session management. This is a new word, I'll be explaining you later. Session management. Then what? Security management. You need security. Means unwanted users should not enter your application. Website is open, it will be allowing access for everybody. But in web application what? You should not allow unauthorized users now. Security management, like this, more and more problems will come. And all these problems, you believe or not, will be addressed by one single technology called as Servlet now. Understood? But first let's see how did Servlet come. These are the problems we face. These are the problems we face. Okay. Now, how was Servlet technology invented? That also has a mystery. I'll come to Servlet just 1 second. So now what does developer expect is, he doesn't want to write, see, you write an application using any domain, that is irrespective now. You write an application using any domain, that is irrespective. All application domains have what? The same common problems. When they're having the same common problems, okay, you have to write 2 things now. What? One is business logic plus all this logic. This is called as infrastructure support. So you're writing a web application, what are the things you have to write? You have to write 2 things. Web application requires what? Your web application requires business logic plus all this infrastructure. So no, both it requires. So we are not interested in writing for every application what? Infrastructure. We are only interested in writing business logic. That's what we require. So that's what. So what happened? Here some third party vendors were there. In Java what happened? No? Some third party means somebody. Some vendors are there. Some server vendors we say. Some server vendors are there. Some server vendors. Server vendors means they'll give all the solution. That's it, in built-in, and they tell only write this logic and put it there. We'll take care of the rest. So many server vendors came now, and they started giving you this solution, because see, we have to write both, and we didn't writing which logic? This logic. They said you write this and put it, we'll execute the logic. So that is what happened. These server vendors, they gave the solution, but they are giving something called as these server vendors were giving proprietary solution first. Proprietary solution means what, you know? Everything they'll support, and they're asking you to write the code and put the application there. Perfect. But they are giving their own API. API means what? Application programming interfaces, means set of classes and interfaces. They'll tell, use our classes and interfaces, write your application logic, put it there, we'll execute. Okay, so they're giving some set of classes and interfaces. So they're giving proprietary solutions or proprietary APIs. Example, if ABC server will give one API, means some set of classes and interfaces. XYZ server will give one API. Like that, many PQR server will give one API. Many vendors, different vendors will give you. So here, whenever you want to develop an application now, supposing you want to use ABC server, you have to learn their API now. Problem. Why problem? Because tomorrow you would like to use XYZ server. Okay, you feel XYZ is better than what? ABC. Some extra performance they are giving. So you try to switch now, but you have to learn one more API now. So every time you want to use one server, you have to learn what? New API. That's a problem. So next, learning that is okay. But look, if I use one API, I have to put that application what? To run in their particular server only. If I put it in some other server, will it run? So it is tightly coupled now. Tightly coupled means what? Your application will run only in, if you use their API, it will run only in their server. This became a problem. So we developers didn't like this solution. We got the solution, we didn't like it. Because for one server you have to learn one API, and after learning also, if you write it and put it, you can run it in only one server. Some lot of problems came. To overcome all this problem, Sun entered. Sun comes to give the solution. What they'll do now? Here, understand, Sun sets the specification. We are seeing new things now. Sun sets the specification. Also, one of the specification what they set is Servlet. In Servlet API. They released on Servlet API. Okay. And this API is learned by 2 people now. Who? Server vendors and application developers. Remember this triangle from now on. Slowly you'll understand this. Okay. Server vendors and application. Earlier this was the problem, proprietary solution. Now see how it has been resolved. They'll give us some set of classes and interfaces now. Some standard classes and interfaces. Now all those classes and interfaces will be implemented by whom now? It will be implemented by server vendors. Both will learn. Who will learn? Vendor also will learn. Developer also will learn. Both will learn. Okay, we learn to use it. They learn to implement. Who will learn to implement? Server vendors. So after learning, what do? We will put it into their server. We'll learn it, write the code and put it into their server. That is what we'll be doing. So this is one triangle now. So advantage here is you are learning one standard API now. And after learning it, you can put your code into any server now. More brilliant now. So end of the day, you are having some problem and you are getting what? Standard solution. That is why Java is so successful in market. Okay, they set standards like this. And so many vendors will implement this now. The server, who are the server vendors? Yes, now it will come. Tomcat from Apache, JBoss from Red Hat. Means these are products. Apache is a product from Apache. Which one? Sorry. Tomcat is a product from Apache. Red Hat is a product from JBoss. So they are implementing it. Many people will implement. So after writing your application, you can choose any server. It's your wish now. Many options you have got. Okay. So fine. So yes, one more problem what we face while developing our applications. 10 points I have already written. The 11th point which comes out is we need one API. Correct? No, one standard API called as what? To write web application only I need one API. Otherwise how will you develop it? So these are the problems. So in your developing application, apart from this, okay, so apart from writing the infrastructure support, we need one standard API also. 11th one I put now. Okay, so this is when Servlet was released into the market. And who implemented now? All the server vendors, they implemented. Let's remove the proprietary ones now. It is not required. So this is how it happened. Then Servlet was giving excellent support. You can write what? Web application, do everything, it was supporting. But again, man's requirement will increase. And this technology will not support you full. Okay, means he wanted very rich user interfaces, color user interfaces and all that. So getting user good, because today you like Facebook only because of what? Interface, user interface. Color and all you would like to see. So doing such kind of displays become what? Getting such kind of displays becomes very difficult using Servlet technology. Simple things you can display. When you see the output of Servlet, you will understand. Okay. So again, more problems developers started facing. So that is when one more API was introduced called as JSP API. See, understand how the interfaces will go on getting released. So as this API go on getting released, what will the vendor will do now? He'll go on implementing it. So this is how the platform will get ready for us. In one day, one night, they didn't decide. Our developers have all these problems and we'll give you all this solution. It is a history of 20-25 years. So do not expect this to understand in what? 10-20 minutes or 25 minutes. As you keep on coding, you'll understand all these solutions. So this is theory now what I'm teaching you. Later on it will become practical. Then you will understand all this very clearly. Because before we get into practicals, we should have some theory idea about all this support what we are having now. That's why I'm going on to tell you all this support now. Clear? So fine. See, one by one they start releasing the API. So first they released which one? Servlet API now, vendor implemented. So when vendor implements it, so it is actually called as, they use one word, Servlet container. Some words are coming out now. Servlet container means what? Servlet container is nothing but implementation of what? Servlet API. Because they have implemented, that is why your code is getting executed there. Otherwise how it will execute? You will be using Servlet API now. Means some classes and interfaces in Servlet API. Means example, in Servlet API you have got some classes and interfaces. Example, okay, HTTP Servlet. If you are coded, fine. If you are not coded, fine. I will be explaining you. HTTP Servlet is one class. HTTP Servlet request. So all this implementation, who will be doing now? You are writing our code using these interfaces. We'll put it there. Now it will execute. Why? Because they are implementing it. More are there. HTTP session, HTTP Servlet response, more are there. So Servlet container is nothing but what? Implementation of the API. That is the runtime environment. I told you now, if you want to write a web application, what do you need? You need runtime environment. Beginning of this JW I told you. Website do not need runtime environment. Web applications need runtime environment and they are giving you a standard runtime environment now. And you can write your code and put it there. Brilliant solution you got. Okay, fine. Next came, okay, I'll reduce this thread pool. This is Servlet container. So then we had presentation problems. That is when what came? That is when JSP came out. They have to implement now. So the implementation of JSP is called as what now? A JSP container. That's all. So this is a very important interview question what I am telling you now. So what is Servlet container? What is JSP container? They'll ask in interview. Understood? JSP container is nothing but what? Implementation of JSP API. Like that. So if you write your code using JSP, then you should use a server which is having implementation of what? JSP. Otherwise your code will only not run. Today almost all servers are having implementation of what? Servlet and JSP API. So they are having both the containers. But in olden days, you had some servers have what? Only Servlet implementation. So that they are having only Servlet containers. So if you write your JSP code and put it there, it will not execute. But today all latest servers are having this implementation, so you don't have to bother too much. I'm talking about olden days, say 10-15 years back and all that. But today all servers, whatever you saw, JBoss, WebSphere, Tomcat, they are having implementation of both. And one more thing is, see, both are same. Servlet container and JSP container, almost all Servlet and JSP, there is hardly any difference. So today we don't say two containers, Servlet container, JSP container. Nowadays, since both are same, they call it as one single container called as web container. Web container means what? Combination of Servlet and JSP. Earlier it was like this. So today, these both are called as what? Both put together. Both put together are called as a web container. Today there are no separate containers. Only one container can execute what? I'm writing it in diagram like this for you to understand. But today there is only one container. That container only can execute what? Servlet also, JSP also. That is why it is called as web container. So a server which has a web container, understood now? A server which has implementation of Servlet API and JSP API, or a server which has web container is actually called as web server. Now I am coming to the point. JEE web server, right? No. To write web applications, what do you need? To write a web application, you need JEE web server. So this is an example for JEE web server. Now see, to develop a web application or to develop an application for what? Enterprise now, you need what? One web server. Understood? An example for this is, good example for this is what? Apache Tomcat. It is a web server. A very good example for that. Clear? So fine. You are clear with what is a web server now? And JEE is what? Platform. So the platform is giving you support for what now? Writing web applications now. How brilliant solution you are having, imagine. So imagine, that's why in 2-3 days you are already up and developing what? Web application. Very interesting it will become now. Once you understand all this, coding becomes very interesting now. Because if you don't know all this and if you code, it will not be interesting. It will be like by hearting. What? Step 1 do this, step 2 do this. But now if you know all this and write your application, it becomes very interesting. So fine. Again, developer will get some more problem. See, using Servlet and JSP you can develop what? Only web application. Correct? If I want to write distributed application, so you have to expose your business logic to some other organization. So problems like this will come. So that is when they added one more API. What is that? This is one API. This is second API. The third API they added was EJB API. Like this, the platform will go on increasing. And what will vendors do now? Implement it. This is the story. Understood? To understand what a platform is, you will not understand it in one day because it is only having history of what? 25 years. Understood? So first we'll understand this platform, then we'll start using this platform for developing our applications. We'll understand now. So that is when they released it, now what happened? The vendors implemented, and this is called as EJB container. So if you want to run your EJB code, you need what? You need EJB container. You need EJB container. Otherwise you cannot write distributed applications only. Understood? So that is the problem here. So that is an EJB was released and they will implement it. So if a server is having implementation of both, which are now Servlet container and EJB container, it is actually called as what? Instead of web server, it becomes application server. So be clear with this. Now it is JEE application server, and the example for JEE application server is what? JBoss from Red Hat, WebSphere, like this, many are there. So if you want to develop a distributed application, you have to use technologies also and you have to use the corresponding server also. If you don't use it, what will happen now? How will your code execute? Understood? So this is the actual thing now. Are you clear? So all this today what I explained to you, this part, no, types of application leave, that is what I gave you some overview. But all these are interview questions now. What is this? What is JEE and all that? Website also leave it. But all this is definitely your interview question. So when you go to interviews and say, you know JEE, they'll ask you what is JEE, what is the support it gives you and all that. And you don't have to buy it. Within 2-3 days, you'll be perfect with this. Like how I'm talking, you'll also start talking. Clear? It is simple. You have to only see the output now. And once you start seeing the output, you'll start very clearly understanding this subject now. So are you clear with all this now? Clear difference between web server and application server? So web servers have web container, application servers have EJB, web container plus EJB container. Shall I clear all this diagram now? So if you use this, you can develop your web applications or distributed applications in a faster manner. That is all. So that is why we call that as a platform. We write our code and put it where now? Into this platform. So that is why Java is the programming language, JEE is the platform. Similarly, JSC is the platform. Java is the language, JSC is the platform. You put it there. You do not worry about that. You only concentrate on this. Similarly, Java is the language, JME is the platform. So like that, one language is there and many platforms are there for satisfying all our different types of applications. Brilliant, no? That is why Java is successful. So simple it is. So I'll clear all this now. You do not worry all about this now. And the one technology which will give you this all this solution would be what now? Servlet. I'll start showing you. I listed all these problems here now. This all will be solved to you by whom now? Servlet. That is next class. I'll start off. First I'll teach you how to develop what? Web application. After completing web application, I'll be showing you how to develop distributed application. Because only after you know how to develop web application, then you will know how to develop distributed application. Because it's one module in your project. That business logic you will expose it to what? Some other application. It's one module. So that is how it will happen now. So let's start seeing now what is JEE. Means I have documented this also. Yes. See, Java is the... Okay, one second. So now, finally, if you ask me to summarize and ask me, what is JEE? Okay, I'll give you some definitions. Okay. So let's understand the meaning of this now. So what is JEE first of all now? It is a platform for developing what? Yes, now you're getting all the points here. It's for server side applications or web applications. Server side application means what? It is running completely on server side. Then I can also say JEE is a server, no? Yes or no? Third, I can also say it is a infrastructure. See, I'm bringing, why am I writing all these definitions is when you read some good books, good documents, they go on to explain you what is JEE in these words. Since you do not understand that, what will you do? You'll join courses. So I'm putting it in such a relaxed manner that you read any document or any book, you should be understanding tomorrow. Understood? That is my intention. Then finally, I'll say JEE is a super specification. Second. Why it is called? 1 second. I'll just. Is a super specification. So why it is called a super specification? Because it is having many sub specifications. Servlet API. These are all what? Servlet and all are what? Servlet also is on specification. JSP is also one sub specification. EJB is also what? One specification. Are you clear? So these are the definitions you have to use in interview if they ask you what is JEE. Understood? So Servlet is a sub-specification of JEE. So see this is one side. What is JEE? If you ask me what is Servlet, I will tell it is JEE is over now. Servlet is a sub-specification. Yes or no? So tomorrow I will be explaining what is Servlet. But just write down some points here. Servlet is a sub-specification of JEE. One more definition. Servlet is a web technology. Web technology used to develop what? Web applications. It is a web technology. Now I use the word web technology. You should use this word only in the interview. Simply don't tell technology. Understood? Example, see, I'll tell what is JDBC. JDBC is a persistent technology which is used to do persistent operations. Servlet is a web technology used to develop web applications. JSP is a presentation technology. Like that you should tell. Simply don't tell full form. What is JDBC? Java database connectivity. What is JSP? Java server page. That everybody will know. But you should use powerful statements like this. What is JDBC? What is JSP and all that. Clear? Then next. Servlet is an API. Correct? No? API, no? Set of class-level interfaces. Then next. Servlet is what? Is a container. All words are correct. Means they are implementing, no? That is what is called as a container. Tomorrow I will talk on servlets. Today I explained you JEE. But I gave you some definitions on Servlet. Now finally, if you say Java is what? Okay, here more I'll give. This is a container. Servlet is what? More points I can write. Here I'll write. This is 1, this is 2, this is 3, this is 4. The fifth point is a library also. Correct, no? Servlet is library. You are using that library for what? Development of web applications. Correct. Everything is correct here. Fine, next. But what is Java? Simple. Is a programming language. So right now, you know only what? Java. But in interview, what they are expecting you to know? These things. Not only these things, definition wise they are not asking you. They are expecting you to know what? Hands-on experience. Skill set. If you are having good skill sets on this, hardly 10 days, man. You will become an application developer now. What application? Not chota mota application. You are not chota mota developer now. Your range is very high. Web applications will be developing. Imagine. So that's all company is requiring. Why can't you do it? Yeah? So this is the story. So this has been documented for you. So this I will be showing you now. It's a very interesting journey now, from now. Okay. All color output you start seeing now. Browser will come. You'll start feeling your work, developing Facebook. That interesting it will become. Understood? So let me see what good applications you develop after me training you all this. So fine. Let's come back now. What is Java and JEE? Yes, see this now. It's documented. What is Java? Java is the programming language used for developing what? Enterprise applications. What is JEE? Now you're getting all the point. JEE is a platform for building server-side or enterprise applications or for organizations, whatever. Now an enterprise means a business organization. Enterprise applications are software that facilitate various business processes in an enterprise. Clear? Now see this. This is actually the super specification. I told you only few things in what? JEE. It's a big platform. Huge platform it is. Okay, I only explained you this part. There are many other things. See here, when you are that server or platform now it's having these things. That is okay. JSF, one more technology is there. You can use it. Then there is something called as presentation technologies. Your server will support this also. What? HTML, XHTML. It will support you with what? Built-in. HTTP, TCP, IP, all that built-in. You don't have to worry. Then that is okay. Then apart from that, while coding, no, you are writing your application. Now your application, web application wants to interact with database. So you need one more technology. What is that? Either JDBC or JPA. One more new technology it is. Called as Java Persistence API. You can use any of them. So how many technologies you know now, that better you can develop your application. Please understand that now. And now you put a question mark to yourself, how many APIs or how many technologies you know now. Because tomorrow you are going to work in the industry. So more APIs you know, more libraries you know, it is helpful for you in what? IT industry. You can survive now. Your growth will happen. Understood? So this is the story. So like this, there are many APIs. These are called as service technologies. One technology help you to do one operation. Like JDBC and JPA will help you to do what? Persistent operations. Full form is here. JPA will help you to do what? Transactions. Transaction means, see, I want to transfer the money from my account to another account online, and it should happen successfully from my account to another account which is there in another branch. Distributed transaction. It should happen successfully, either all or none. Okay, that should happen. So then Java mail, that is one problem. For that problem there is one library, for JTA is one problem, transaction problem. For that there is library in Java. Similarly, you want to send mail. Why do you want to send a mail? You booked online ticket. Now you need one confirmation now whether you got the mail, means whether the ticket is confirmed or not. So that application will send on mail to you. Like railways application, you book online ticket, it will send on mail to you. So you are the developer. So now finally you have to develop the application, means you have to write the code to send the mail. They say hardly use our API. Some 4 or 5 lines will code. Automatically mail will be delivered. So these are the problems what you face. So that is why you go on to use so many service technologies. You want to do messaging. That's why you use what? JMS. One more API. Similarly, then you got something called as JAS, Java Authentication and Authorization Software, a service API. Java Authentication and Authorization Service API it is called. Means authentication and authorization. You know what is authentication? Is the user authentic, then you will allow him into the application. Then you will check for authorization. Means is he able to access that particular module or not. Simple words I am telling. Means which part of the module and all that. Access will give him. Okay. You will not allow him to access the entire application. Some part of the module or whatever it is. So that is authorization. You will not authorize him to access the full application. Authorize him means that is authentication and authorization. For writing that also I got one API. Full ready made for you. So all this support is there and is required while developing what? A web application or distributed application, and that is built into you. Where? In the JEE platform. Everything ready made for you. Only you have to know how to use it. We'll write the code, put it there. You'll get the output. You'll start understanding. Clear? We'll learn all the APIs now. So finally now, what is JEE? It is a super specification set by Sun for 2 people. 1. All server vendors for implementing what? The specification. 2 people now. We Java application developers for using the implementation. Understood? We are going to use the implementation. They are going to implement it to server vendors. And Sun will set. The triangle you remember. Fine. Now various server vendors like Apache, Tomcat, Red Hat, IBM, Oracle implement these specifications to provide the support to what? Java application developers. Means it is like this. JEE is a super specification set by Sun. Okay, it is implemented by server vendors and used by application developers. So both will learn, like how I am learning, you are learning. Server vendors also will learn. We are application developers. They are server vendors. Both will learn. So once we finish learning, but our purpose is different. They learn to implement. We learn to use. So after learning and developing, we'll put it into their server. Are you getting the idea now? Fine. Same thing now. So there are many sub-specifications under JEE now. Next, like what? Servlet, JSP, Java Server Face, EJB and all that. Full form I have written. All these sub-specifications solve the various problems which might arise while developing a web or distributed application. We application developers use this JEE server or platform for deploying and running our distributed application. We use it. And we application developers you develop our application code using that APIs, which one? Servlet, JSP or EJB API, and host the application into this JEE server. And we are also free, we developers are free to choose any server from any vendor to deploy, means to host our web or distributed applications. Any server you can choose. We have that liberty. It is up to you now. Now next, That is about what is JEE. Next, from JEE from what? Server point of view. So one by one you start understanding everything now. So why JEE is called as a server? JEE is a server having the implementation of what? JEE specification set by Sun. Many server vendors do this implementation. Server side application have additional requirements for development and execution. JEE platform or server provides the infrastructure for meeting those needs. And JEE platform provides the following. What does it provide you? 4 things it gives you. Set of APIs to build application like Servlet, JSP, EJB. Then next, a runtime infrastructure means containers. Servlet container, JSP container to run that code. Okay, then third, service APIs means you want to do transaction, you want to do persistent operations. Okay, then you want to send mail, whatever you want, all that it will give you, that APIs it will give you, service APIs they are called. And apart from that, what it gives you? Some other services called as container services. What are the container services? Threads, lifecycle management, resource management, all that is built in for you. You don't have to worry. So these are the things what you get in a JEE server. Now the JEE architecture, this is the architecture. So there are many words to explain it. I wrote it down first only. JEE is a platform, JEE is a server, JEE is an infrastructure or architecture. That same I am explaining now. So see, a JEE server is a runtime to manage application components like Servlet, JSP or EJB and to provide access to JEE service APIs. There are 2 types of JEE server. This is the most important interview question. What is it? Web container and web server and application server. So web server contains only web container, application server contains what? Both web and EJB contain, both it will contain. And these are the different service APIs. Your Servlet JSP also can use, plus what? Servlet JSP in web container they will use the service APIs. In application server, either your Servlet container or JSP container or EJB container can use this service API. It's simple. Okay. Anyway, web container. See here I have written 2 again as I told you, but today we are having only one container called as what? Web container. Clear? Today web applications are having web container we say, which means combination of what? It can execute both Servlet and JSP. That's it. Now, a web container, see this very clearly, is used for hosting Servlets and JSP or a web container. And EJB container is used for hosting what? EJBs. Means which container is used for what purpose? Clear? Then next, each of these container provide what? A runtime environment for respective components. Then next, JEE components are also called as managed objects, as these objects are created and managed within the container runtime. Means the container knows when to create an object of Servlet, the container knows when to create an object, lifecycle management, when to create an object of JSP, when to create an object of EJB, container knows it. That's why they are called as managed objects. The container knows when exactly to create it, when exactly to destroy it. All these things are managed by the container. Clear? Then next. Now what is web server and application server? After development of web application or enterprise or distributed application, we need to run those applications in a web server or application server. Web server now, it is used for, means they are containers. Now I am explaining what is web server and application server. If you develop, web server is used for running what? Web application. Application server are used for hosting and running web and distributed applications, both. So now finally the difference. This is very important interview question. Remember this. Difference between web server and application server. Web server has only web container. Application server has both web container and EJB container. Web server supports only web-based applications. Application server both web and distributed applications. Web container provides support for web components which are implemented with web technologies like Servlet and JSP. Means it supports only Servlet and JSP, web server. Application server supports what? Servlet, JSP and EJB. Then web container provides following services. Means I already wrote this for you. While developing a web application, these are the various problems you face, and web server will give you all this support. Like example, networking, input output, multi-threading, security management, resource management, lifecycle management, memory management. So built in you will get it in web server. But when you are writing a distributed application, that's these problems you will get, plus extra you will get some more problems. So that is why I'll use what? EJB. EJB will give you all this support, extra support. Like messaging and all that, timer will be taken care by EJB container. Understood? Now if you ask me what is timer, scheduling, example, like every day 5 o'clock, I want to send some mail to everybody. That will be taken care by whom now? EJB. Just telling you giving you some ideas. So like this, requirements will come into your application, and these all technologies will help you to do it automatically. You just have to write your logic. That logic will execute tomorrow at 5 o'clock. That's it, over. Who will take care? EJB. Timer service. Scheduling. Brilliant. So that is why when you have those problems, then you'll use those technologies and they'll give the solution. Simply you will not decide. First you will understand the requirement properly of your application, then you will decide your technologies. Clear? Fine. Example for web server is what? Tomcat. Example for this one is what? JBoss, WebLogic, WebSphere, Glassfish. Many are there. You can use any server. It's up to you. Now, this is bit difficult for you to understand right now, okay, because you have to write an application, run the application, then you'll understand what it is. But time being, you write it down very clearly. When I write application, I'll again open this document and I'll explain it to you, what it is. But little we'll try to understand. Okay, see, this is the container architecture. Means here what happens is, you'll write Servlet, JSPs, EJB, so they are all called as components. So this is application, means it can be Servlet, JSP, EJB, anything like that. Okay. So when you write a Servlet, you'll put it into the server. Okay, but server will not know. Means it's a Java file. Server will not know how to handle that, or how to and when to handle all that. So that is when you'll write one XML file for it. You'll be seeing it when I code. Those XML files are called as deployment descriptors. Web.xml, EJB jar.xml. You'll be seeing some XML files. So it will be, those XML files are used to describe that Servlet. So that's why they are called as deployment descriptors. Okay, I'll be showing you with code only. Okay, so only two things now you'll do. If you want to write a web application, one Java file you'll write, and one more is XML file, and you'll put it into the server. Automatically you'll get the output now. That's all you'll be doing finally. And if you put it there, yes, next you'll get all those service APIs. Service APIs I told now, JMS, JDBC, it can access it. Then next, you'll get the container services. What? Thread pooling, resource management, lifecycle management, all it will get. Then I'll talk about these two, container contract and declarative services. More I'll talk. But this is one idea about what the architecture is. Clear? So this is how it will happen later. We'll write the code and put it there. Many diagrams are there to explain what is JEE. And one diagram will talk from one point of view. This is talking from what? Architecture point of view. Previous one you saw it from what? This is one more diagram. Understood? There will be many diagrams you will be saying. All are correct only, but the one time we will be trying to explain one concept. That is when we will draw one diagram. Clear? So fine. So here some more points are there. See this. In this architecture, we application as developers, we are required to provide the following. What are we supposed to do? We write application components. They include what? Servlet, JSP, EJB, and in JEE application components can be packaged into archive files. Means when you write Servlet, JSP and all, no, we'll compress it and put it there. Means archive files, zipping. I'll be showing you with output. All this is with output only, you can understand. I told you beginning only. Fine. Then next, deployment descriptor. So it is an XML file that describes the application components. It also includes additional information required by containers for effectively managing application components. Understood? Means you'll be writing the information about the Servlet, JSP in an XML file. And the server will take care of that Servlet, JSP by reading the XML files. You'll read the XML file and take care of those classes. I'll be showing you with code only, don't worry. So we application developer do this. Now fine. That is our duty. Now see these four things, 1, 2, 3, 4, what you're seeing on the border, that I've explained it here. You just write it down, later on you'll understand it. So just see, the rest of the figure forms the container. The architecture of the container can be divided into 4 parts. A set of APIs required by the container that your application components are required to extend or implement. Means you have to write the code using some interfaces only. That's what they are trying to say. Then next, container service APIs. Means if you write your code, Servlet and put it there, it can access what? JDBC, JMS, JNDI, JTA, all that. You can access it. Like that, some points are there. You write it down. Very clearly I'll be explaining you when I write the coding. Yeah? Timing it's a bit difficult for you. Later on you'll be understanding. Within 2-3 days you'll start understanding the points. Then finally we'll come to what is Servlet. This is the introduction I'll give. Next class we'll be going more deeper into this now. Because Servlet is part of what? JEE now. Little introduction I'll give. Just some few minutes. Now Servlet is a web technology. This is what you have to tell now. I wrote the points. In the interview you have to tell this only. Servlet is a web technology from Sun Microsystems which will be used to develop what? Web applications. This is your definition in interview. Next point you can tell if you are interested. What? It is a sub-specification of JEE platform which is set by Sun. And it is implemented by various vendors and used by Java developers. Servlets will be used to develop what? Server-side components. And this diagram you already know now. Okay, it's very simple diagram. See this. Again, if you want to write a web application, many supports are there. From Sun you got Servlet, JSP, JSF. One more, it is Java Server Faces. It is. I'll be explaining you that. Microsoft has got what? ASP, PHP, Perl, other vendors leave. So you can use anything. It's your wish. But we prefer to use this. But if you want to write a web application, this much of support is there. Finally, we'll use this. And in this architecture, see, this is called as what? Either you can use, if you write your code, you'll either use a web server or application server. Example for web server applications here, from Java point of view I'm talking. It is Tomcat, JBoss, WebSphere for Java. If it is you are writing code in C#, then you will use what? IIS. And their technology is called as ASP. C# language, ASP technology, IIS server. Like that. And this is the browser. You can use any browser to make your requests. Clear? Fine. Now here two participants are involving. Which are the two participants? One is the web client. See, this is web client. That is web server or application server. That same thing I am explaining now. Here two participants are getting involved, web client and web server. Web client is an application which sends the request to the server and also responsible to receive the response and display it to the client. Any browser can be used as what? Web client. Example is what? IE, Mozilla, Safari, etc. Like that, any browser you can use. Web server. What it is? So now start saying web server. I already explained you. Just read it. Is an where is it? Yeah, is an application which receives the request from the web client, processes the request, and sends the response to the web client. Web server is used to run what? Web applications. Web server has a web container. Simple. Same I am repeating. An example is Tomcat. Now what is application server? It is also a software or application which is responsible to receive the request from client, process the request and send the response. Same thing it will do. Plus, it is having what? Web container and EJB container. Next, it is used to run web applications which are implemented using Servlets and JSP. And it is also used to run enterprise applications which are implemented using EJB, Servlet and JSP. Enterprise application will have all the three technologies. EJB, Servlet and JSP. If not EJB, they'll use what? Web service. Either of it. Clear? If you use web service, much better than EJB. If you use web service, much better, because EJB is restricted to what? Only Java. Web service is what? Open for Java or non-Java. So that is why web service is more popular in industry today. Then next, some of the examples are WebLogic from Oracle, JBoss from Red Hat, yes, WebSphere from IBM, Glassfish, one more server from Sun company themselves. Sun is also releasing their server. Now, what are the web technologies you can use? Many are there. From Sun, you can use what? Servlet and JSP. From other examples means ASP from Microsoft, PHP, all that you can use. So that is about web application. Now let's become more precise, and we'll be using what now? Servlet. So if you use Servlet technology while developing a web application, this is the support what you get. And from next class, I'll be explaining you Servlet only. This is only introduction to JEE and how Servlet fits into JEE. Yeah. So this, if you use Servlet now, these are the advantages. What I'll be explaining you, just note it down. Web support means it can accept a web request. It's a big thing now. Your application should accept the web request, and Servlet technology will do it for you, built in. Then standard API for developing web application. Yes or no? Son, standard API. Input output, networking, collecting input values. All that will be taken care by whom now? Servlet technology. Lifecycle management, resource management, scalability, memory management, multi-threading, session management. More problems are there. We'll be saying events and listeners, filter. All this support will be given to you by Servlet technology. Next class, I will introduce you about Servlet. Clear? Okay, so today I covered what? Summarize. I covered different types of application. What are the different architectures? Understood? Different types of application. Then I explained you what is JEE. Then I explained you what is little about servlet. Done? So that's the summary. Keep this in mind when you start developing applications, it will become more clear. Okay, that's it then.